I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. So hard to find, it's the real damn thing. Don't be wasting any time, I got somewhere to be. Always on the grind, yeah, you know me. Hold the crown will be mine, you can call me king. A matter of time for you all love me. Finally at my prime, right where I wanna be. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. Put my money where my mouth is, I'ma get it now, kid. Heard around town, this sound is astounding. Feel my heart pounding, bass is surrounding. Think I finally found it, so I'm gonna mount it. Like an ex-girlfriend, I'ma get it back. Make a couple racks as I make a couple tracks. Stay on the attack as I'm writing every rap in a snapback. Black off this coke and this jack. Man, I feel good, dog, I feel good. Woke up a little richer, also with a little wood. If I could teach this shit, man, really wish I could. So listen up closely, I'll give you a push. I raise hell every time my lyrics pop off. I take shots at the haters with a sawed off. Girl, you better keep me up or I'll nod off. One shot, all I got, I will not stop. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. So hard to find, it's the real damn thing. Don't be wasting any time, I got somewhere to be. Always on the grind, yeah, you know me. Hold the crown will be mine, you can call me king. A matter of time for you all love me. Finally at my prime, right where I wanna be. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. Yeah, it's not enough, man, I want more. I keep on doing business, open every single door. I wanna be the richest, so you see me up on Forbes. I can do this through my music, that's how I even the score. I don't take it slow, man, I want it bad. Every single day, I'll be carving out a path. Like a girl with a tat on her back, all black. I'ma take her right back to my pad where it's at. I don't ever slack off, so you better back off. I'm about to blast off faster than NASA. Everybody stand up, put your fucking hands up. That's the demand, yup. Welcome to the brand, bruh. No, I'm not cautious, I take risks. And no, you can't stop this, I'm too slick. She knows that she wants it, so come quick, baby, know that I'm on it. I don't quit. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. So hard to find, it's the real damn thing. Don't be wasting any time, I got somewhere to be. Always on the grind, yeah, you know me. Hold the crown will be mine, you can call me king. A matter of time for you all love me. Finally at my prime, right where I wanna be. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. I'm one of a kind, there ain't no one like me. You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the f*** are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna f***ing do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're dreaming. There's no way that you make it, and maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Aren't you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Aren't you just gonna take that? Or will you fight back? Fight back. You ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they're giving it, you're not, think a straight kid. No, they don't give it, you got what I'm saying? I'm not playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just fake it. I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the fuck up door on all you poor haters with your heads in the clouds. Talking out loud so proud, you better shut your mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to hit town. There's no way that you make it.
On You ready? Let's do this.
Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fight back?
Grinders, what's up? My dog's in the background. Get him. What's up, Grinders? We got an excellent show for you this evening. Thank you again for the other, Monday I had a family event, and unfortunately I couldn't do the show that evening, so I moved it to this evening on Wednesday night, and glad I did. Oh my. We got some juicy stuff. The grindsboard was lit. I didn't know where to begin. I have so many bookmarks on my goddamn Twitters for the topics. We're going to go wild. The grindhounds. What's up? Yo, what's up, Sick? How you doing, man? No Cap Podcast in the house. Shout out to all the grinders. Kyle, Nick, DDP, you know me. The tools are here. Mr. Tennis is here. How you doing, VIP grinders? Shout out to you guys. Compost Smurf, Geo Knows Gaming, wild, man, wild. Damasi, yo, Brian King. You doing, what's up? Jeff B Gaming, yo, what's up? How you doing? Wild Wolf, Mary Wilcox. Virtual reality, oh baby, it's real. Nick, everybody coming on in. Carl, how you doing? Seattle Chief, Kyle. We are ready. The grinders are pumped. Quality splits. Don't rip my pants. We're going to get right into the topic. But first, before we get into the grind, we always got to go. We always got to look up to the balconies. We always got to look up to the balconies and see the VIPs. We talked about Hermen Hulst. Oh, quality splits. You know where we're going. I heard that beat drop. Where we going, Hermen? Yes. Opened up the club to the VIPs. Yes. VIP Grinders! In the Hermen Hulst Club. How you doing? Quality splits. Thank you, everybody, for being a VIP grinder. Still, Phil, no access to Phil Ness in the background. This is where the gamers do the talking. Hermen Hulst punching snake oil. That's right. I love that. Yo, I was laughing my ass off if I put that out there. But shout out to everybody in the club with Hermen Hulst quality splits. Hermen Hulst did have some stuff to say, though. Oh, sorry. Did I say something wrong? I don't know, Hermen. We'll talk about it. But anyway, thank you again, VIP Grinders. You want to be a VIP Grinder, hit that join button, and you get access to the wonderful emojis, especially the new one that was just added. The second favorite booty, Phil's second favorite booty, Mr. Booty Quality, and Cloud. Yo, it's partying there. Man, they're going wild. Oh, yeah. Hit that like button. And here we go back to the Grindhouse Show. Thank you again, VIP Grinders. Now, to the Grindsboard. And introducing Frogs. What's up? How you doing?
I've been pretty good, man.
Frog, yeah, we were just talking about Frog. Frog is travels, and he might be coming home the day God of War comes out. So everybody knows that he's going to fly that plane right up that GameStop ass and get his John Tar edition. Because that is the worst GameStop ever. John Tar.
John Tar edition. Get that John Tar edition.
John Connor John Tar edition. Oh my goodness. Yo, what's up,
man? What would I be without my John Tar edition?
Dude, that GameStop, dude. They got some whack ass shit. They sold you some Spider-Man socks, the John Tar edition, a goddamn
I'll never forget that, man, the damn Spider-Man socks. I'll never forget that shit. And they wonder why people don't want to shop at GameStop. You just package a whole bunch of bullshit in there. Expect me to be like, oh man, I gotta love this.
What were you buying? Were you buying the Spider-Man console that they had? They packaged it through, and
yes.
you had to buy the socks with them.
So yes, I was buying a Spider-Man console, and they just decided it'd be a good idea to package socks and shirts and
You
stuff
had to
like
buy
this
it.
stupid ass shit. Yeah, like, hey, buy this. Like, come on now.
Got Spider-Man socks. He wanted the Spider-Man edition console. You know, GameStop with this stupid. They're just pulling shit off of shelves. They're like, yeah, there's some Spider-Man socks, the Spider-Man yo-yo.
Yeah, God, this goes with it. I'm like, what the this shit goes with it.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Link?
What's up?
Frogs lives next to the worst GameStop ever.
Oh yeah,
Dude, I do. I definitely do.
they don't know. They don't know what they're talking about in there or something.
Man, they package bull crap too. Hey, here's the Spider-Man console you pre-ordered. Hey, we got these socks for it. Wait, I didn't know. I don't want the socks. the Spider-Man socks. The Spider-Man socks and booties. And I'm like, wait, I didn't order all this crap.
Frogs, very briefly, Kyle asks if you could tell the story to the new members of the Grindhouse, of what the John Tar edition is. Quick, do the Cliff Note version.
And I do the Cliff Note version. So I go to pre-order my God of War game, and the girl's like, "Oh, you trying to get the new God of War?" I was like, "Yeah." And I said Jotun. I said Jotunar, because I thought that's how it's pronounced, right? And she's like, "Oh, you mean John Tar?" And I was like, "No, I think it's pronounced Jotunar." She's like, "No, it's John Tar," and I was like, "All right." I didn't even argue with her. All right. Okay. I'm not even gonna argue with you there.
She told you it was the John Tar.
I was like, maybe I'm saying it wrong, but I was like, I don't think that's pronounced there. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's not pronounced like that, but okay. We're gonna leave it as such.
You leave it as such. You just go to the John. It's like, nah, it's the John. It's like whatever it is. Yeah, you might get a game called John Tar. Oh damn!
At this point, yes, we might.
You might get the. Well, yeah, I don't know. GameStop's pretty wild, man. I've been going in and buying the T-shirts that were half off.
Oh
God damn, that's all I use them for. They asked me, I don't even buy games in that place anymore. It's ridiculous. Somebody's like, "Do you want a magazine subscription?" Neil says his GameStop's been great to him. Kyle's like, didn't they ask you if you wanted a job there? Wait, no, that was the second time.
Oh, no, so that was okay. So I hit them up. And let me tell you, there's some sarcastic ass people working. So I hit them up and was like, "Hey,
you're my number one customer."
You know, basically in a roundabout way, some of your employees don't know, the right verbiage of the game. They don't know how to pronounce the game, and they basically, in a roundabout way, told me, "Well, these employees that work here aren't the smartest. So do you want the job?" And I was like, "Geez, that's fucked up." Basically,
you gotta call it the John Tar in order to get a job.
Yeah,
there.
you gotta call it John Tar edition and you get the job there. And what made it so bad, and I think this what made it even worse. The guy at the register that was with her, that was working with her, was looking at her like, "Damn, that is not how you pronounce that game." You can see it in his face, like, "Yeah, that is definitely not how you pronounce." And I'm just thinking to myself, like, "Damn, dude, like, help your girl out." Nah, he let her die on that hill. He let her die right on that hill. Yeah, she died on that hill.
He says they think he'll get fired because she's probably like the only other person that can probably work there. He's like, you can call whatever you want.
I don't know.
John Tar.
All I know is it's pretty embarrassing. This is your job, and I guess like somebody I think once told me, like, look, don't expect much. Don't expect much of these guys. Like they're very underpaid. You shouldn't expect much.
Don't expect much.
Man, this is your job.
You mean it's less quality? It's just quality. But anyway, dude, that's crazy. That John Tar. I can't wait for you to. I can't wait. I hope she's there when you pick it up, and she's like, "Here's your John Tar edition." Everybody's like, "What the hell's going on, John Tar?"
Oh man,
Jotunar. Well, they're going wild. Oh, Black Metal Jesus at the 2. He goes, John Tar sounds like the nickname for a junkie.
The nickname for a junkie.
Hold that, John. I don't know how the hell you get the words John Tar out of that thing. John. There's be some game called John Tar. Holy crap. John, what disrespect God of War? How dare they? It's quality. Dude, they're not ready. Ragnarok is coming, dude. It's coming. It's coming.
Oh, yeah.
All this hubbub that we're gonna talk about that's lit up on the grindsboard, man. This is all filler for what's gonna be coming there. Ragnarok is coming. It's coming. They're not ready.
More than Ragnarok coming.
Dude, yo, I want to get right to the meat and the taste. That's why I want to fly through these topics and get right into all that.
Because I already know where you want to go.
That's been going on. Holy crap! It's goddamn. We got lawyers. We got the fans. It's insane. So the first topic here is the Sony increased their shipping like to year over year, like 400% more consoles getting shipped out to the market. So we're seeing. And remember,
so wait. So you're saying more PlayStation 5s are shipping?
Yes.
And selling?
Yes.
So wait,
and selling.
So are you telling me that price increase that everybody was flipping out over really didn't matter? Is that what we're basically saying here?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on. Let's go to the tapes. Let's go to the tapes here. Let's see. Because apparently, let's see here what we got here. Oh,
that price increase in different territories that we don't even live in really didn't matter?
No, it didn't.
Go figure,
That 1 week in Japan, Phil Spencer was over there taking dumps at Sega headquarters. They sold a couple more thousand, a few hundred more in Japan. Everybody was celebrating. Windows Central was popping open the champagne that they had closed for half a decade, thinking Xbox would come back, and then they popped open the champagne a little too early because it was only a week that they sold a couple more hundred in Japan. But this is what the price increases that everybody was like, Xbox is back. Yeah, I'm telling you, we said it. We said that the stock was the issue, and the S. And if you want to, what's really crazy is that if you go here and you look at this is the X and S combined. I want to know what the ratio is of the S to the X, and we know damn well what it is. It is more in favor of the S, obviously, than with the X.
Yeah.
This is just combining them. I would love to know what the ratio of the 81,000. I'm wondering if it's like, 60-20 or 60-20 or something like that, or 50-30.
What's 81,000?
Well, I'm saying like in the US, in Canada and Mexico, it's 81,768 of Xbox sold the week of October 1st.
Wait, where are these numbers come from?
VG charts, but we're allowed to use it now.
I have no comment on
Link. No, we're allowed to use it because Aaron Greenberg retweeted it and said that this was the fact.
So VG charts is bad unless
it's bad.
From.
I've never looked at those numbers as being real.
I never looked at them either. But Aaron Greenberg,
if we're gonna use it, yeah, he did. Yeah, damn, his dumb ass did.
Well, he made it official. Aaron Greenberg said, "Thanks for the sales increase. I don't look at sales." He said something. What? Man, where was that one? Aaron Greenberg and VG charts. I'm going to look that one up because we're allowed to use it now because Greenberg used it in his quote. Which it's his birthday. Happy birthday. I saw Taco Bell wish him a happy birthday. Pause. Honestly, Taco Bell wished him a happy birthday.
Well, they want him to have the shits. That's what they want.
Where is it? Let me see.
Man, Taco Bell. Every time you think of Taco Bell,
I don't know. Taco Bell wished him a happy birthday.
I'm good.
Is this it? Oh wait, no, that's not it. Where was it? It was I don't know. But yeah, Aaron Greenberg tweeted out, we're allowed to use VG charts. But anyway, this is their weekly crap. But the main thing is that, the PlayStation, here it is. Is this it?
It's doing what it normally does. Sales.
It's doing what it's doing, dude. Yeah, I wish you used the. Yeah, oh my god, I wish I had that freaking tweet. I have it somewhere. It's
it's doing what it normally does, and that's sell. I mean,
that's what it's doing, dude. And but like this
is not something we didn't expect. I don't think by any way, shape, or form that nobody was like not expecting this. People made a big stink about. People made a big stink about prices increasing in this territory. And I was like, I don't understand why people are concerned about that. That is not going to hurt anything. But it's not going to matter.
Marginal increase, and the thing is that it's more inside the the more PlayStations are there. There's this, and this is the thing we were saying back when they were celebrating about it. And again, this is it is what it is from VG charts, whatever this trash is. But the thing is that it's getting stomped. And what the main thing is to say is that, you know, the problem was that people again were looking for that slow clap. They saw the what happened? Did something? Oh, someone said where I am. I don't know. But the thing is
people are just on weirdo behavior. That's what I kind of feel like. They're just on weirdo behavior. This I would say between
it's been wild, dude.
I would say between this generation of consoles and last generation, especially it started last generation really hard, the weirdo behavior, but then it really got bad. I would think at the end of the last generation, where people were making comments like, "Oh, Xbox is going to come back," and it's like, you guys are weirdos for even just looking at something and thinking that like this console's never been like outside of X. And I think it's that Xbox 360 era. People they want to relive that. Like they're on their fourth console, and they just the first console, okay, was it kind of like, no, they're not gonna sell. Their market is not as big as Nintendo's and PlayStation's, and I wouldn't expect it to be big as their competitors, which they don't consider in competition. But this weirdo behavior, man, this weirdo stuff.
Yeah, because it's looking for that slow clap moment, dude. That's what they're looking for, and any little W. And again, the main issue is the lack of games that they are producing with all the studios.
It's not even that, Jez.
It's been that.
It's a bullshit. Like, we're gonna cheer Brazil, blah blah blah. It went through. Like, are we really worried about Brazil? Is that what we should really be worried about? Is that that's the market audience we thought that wasn't gonna go through for the FTC sales and of Activision? Come on now, like this is it's just stupid stuff I look at and I'm like, yo, you guys are cheering. That's why I cannot. And I'm gonna be honest. I have a hard time watching anybody. There's very few exceptions that primarily plays on Xbox or has an Xbox centric podcast. Most of those guys they will not tell the truth. Everything is opinionated with them. They can't live in the truth. They just can't. They refuse. Some way, shape, or form, they're gonna try to twist it around to make it seem like this Xbox product is doing really well, and it's not. It's not. And I just don't understand. Like, you're a loser.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to be
well, the thing is that they increased their output for their shipping. They said they were going to, and the other thing that came up too was and this is another thing. Shout out to Zubitech here. Showing FIFA 23. Now remember, FIFA is also part of EA Access, which is also part of Game Pass. So you're automatically getting that, right? So you look at the FIFA 23 sales at number one, and these are the split per platform. The PS5 and the PS4 account for 71% of the sales of this game. The Xbox, all of it, 23%, and the Switch is 6%. And Horizon's still sitting at number 6. What is interesting to me, and again, this is the UK box charts, but what's interesting is the legs of, not only is the sway of third party, and it kind of goes into that Call of Duty statement that we're going to talk about later, what they said about the Call of Duty migration of players coming over to Xbox. But if you look at this, the thing is the legs of the Horizon. You look at Horizon, even the legs of Miles Morales, it's going along with the sales of the console. As the console becomes more prevalent and more people are buying it, they're buying the games associated with the console, even that they're cross-gen. So what you're noticing is that
you're right.
The games that Sony's releasing, and Nintendo, factual there too, stay in the sales top 20, top 10 much longer than the games that Xbox releases. Halo dropped off like a friggin' lead pipe. Oof.
Oh, man. That thing was dead.
That dropped off. The only one that kind of remained in the top 10 was Forza Horizon, I guess, when they put the DLC out last month. But at least it showed that people will buy a quality game, because Forza Horizon is a quality game. But it shows that there may be some people still left that will buy games that they find as valuable. And that's been the problem that Microsoft has been having with their games, that their games seem to be like, yeah, I'm going to try it on Game Pass. I don't really want to buy it. Oh, it's free for me. And when you look at that kind of stuff, that's a problem in their presentation, in their confidence in the product, is that they're not showing a confident product that people are willing to slap down the money and buy it. Instead, they'll just try it in Game Pass.
Agree.
Because if they release a quality game, I think people will have no problem buying $60 a game, $70 a game. If the game warrants
no
that.
problem.
No problem.
At all.
But
no problem at
Microsoft's putting out these wishy-washy games like who's dropping pre-orders on Pentiment? Who's dropping pre-orders on Scorn? Nobody.
Yeah.
Everyone's like,
Nobody.
Dude, I'm going to try that out. I don't know what that alien that dick is. Like, I don't know what that was going on.
And I'm going to tell you this, Jez. There's two things I noticed, and I've been noticing for a while, and I've said it. Because I've had this feeling like sometimes, like I own over 1,022 games. I own a lot of games digital, right? And from between PS4 and PS5 library. So I don't ever have a shortage of games, right?
Yeah.
It's just games I'm going to go back and beat. What I will say is I hear a lot of people saying there's nothing to play. And I don't think that it's even this, there's nothing to play. I'm going to be honest with you. I think we have entirely too much stuff to play. And that's just me. We have entirely too much stuff to play. And sometimes some of that stuff isn't good quality. So it's not that we don't have enough to play. We have plenty to play. I think that there's a lack of quality with some stuff. You know, back in the day when you had your THQs and you had your Acclaims and you had all these, you had those filler games. Now it's just a whole bunch of to me, it was like, it's shovelware. Like between, and this is not just with Xbox. This is everything. Between Switch, you go on the Switch store, you see a lot of shovelware. PlayStation's bad with the shovelware, and Xbox gets the shovelware in Game Pass. Unfortunately, because they have a service, it's easier just to kind of throw there and say, "Oh, here's the shovelware." So I think that we have a lot of stuff to play. I think entirely too much to play. Back in the, and I guess I'll say this, back in the ES, Genesis days, 64 days, games came out and they came out a little bit farther space between, and you really had to make a conscious decision of what you're going to buy. And they were just as expensive, but I think now there's entirely too much, and some people are like, nah, that's a good thing. No, I don't think that's a great thing. I think you can have a bit of too much, and I think gaming is entirely too much on the market as it is right now. I really do.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fodder, and
Yes.
I'm hoping that it's not turning into, the reason why is because people just want to get their stuff out there in some sort of low cost.
Everybody all of a sudden is a developer, and so you can have some shitty ass stuff come out on the console, and just be sitting in the store. And I looked at PlayStation then, I seen all these games in there. It's like $2, $3, and these games are probably
no, that stuff.
And I was like, damn, that's not what it used to be. Like,
What's up,
that is not what it used to be, and I don't want to partake in that. Like I did the what's the game? What is the game? The one, was it the milk or the toast? Because everybody was talking about
toast. I am toast.
I am something. I am bread. I am toast. I am mayo. That's what I got. That's what I got. So I am mayo. So when I am mayo came out, I heard a lot of people talking about,
oh my god! We just pressed the button.
I was like, let me see what this game is about. And then I got it, and I was like, yo, this game is total dog shit. Like it's ridiculous that game came out, and that's what everybody saw. But people were talking about it because it was easy platinum. So I would even say trophies and achievements are, they don't even in a sense matter like they used to. They really don't.
Yeah.
No,
totally.
We have too much on the market. And people were just saying, I can put a $1.99 game in here.
Well,
and get some quick money.
Everybody's trying to make that stuff viral. But hey, to go back to the 400% year over year. Shout out to Salty. He's in the chat. So they jump on if he wants to jump on. Oh, who's that? Oh, he got up. Ghost jumped on too. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Dude, we're talking about the 400. You're talking about more PS5 shipments year over year, 400%. Now, lots of reports that improve PS5 supply. And guess what? More supply, more sales. Now, what are we doing here? So, like, all of a sudden, those little weeks at the Xbox got a little taste. They're gone now. Now they're getting blown out of the friggin' water. And with God of War Ragnarok coming on, dude, I don't know what's going on.
Man, they're going to get their back blown out. Pause.
Yeah, so I
oh, yeah.
on Thrash's podcast, and I kind of broke down the math. Like there was an article about that 400%, and they were saying that they, in the month of September, they shipped 7.5 kilograms or 7.5 million kilograms of weight of PlayStations. Right, so that 7.5 million kilograms. So you convert that to pounds, which is 2 pounds, right? And you times that, it comes out to about 16 million pounds. Now the average PlayStation is 9 pounds. So you start doing the math. Yeah, it's heavy. I'm sorry, but that's about 1.8 million PlayStations that were shipped to the United States in the month of September. So
that's a lot of
my numbers guy. I'm sorry for nerding it up, man, but I'm a numbers cruncher. So
people they hear me. You guys hear me? What's going on? You guys hear me, right? I don't know. Is there an issue? Somebody saying where's Jez? I saw that earlier in the chat. You guys can hear me, right? You guys can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
All right. Grind is in the chat. You can hear me? All right, just want to make sure. Because somebody's like, where's Jez? Let's just wait, make sure. I see my mic is working. Yeah. Can you guys hear me in the chat? I hear everyone. Okay, good. Yes. So yeah, I know, like that's tons of weight. It's a big thing, right? It's big. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Gio. No cap. So it says, so like they are serious. They're gonna have their system out there ready for Ragnarok, and this is the prep that goes into this stuff. That's why I always said Microsoft is on borrowed time, dude. And we're going to get into this whole discussion of like what really is rearing its ugly head on this whole deal. And you know what? We're going to talk about the things. I want to bring up the topics with you guys of what people are not talking about, because I hear a lot of deflection, and I want to talk about the one thing that I'm seeing in this whole thing. So going on to the next topic, Sony stacking the deck and ready. We're going to fly by this one as fast as we could talk about cloud, because it just seems like there it is. There's more cloud talk coming in. There it comes. A big announcement from Xbox Wire today. Updates on Fable, updates on Halo, updates on Perfect Dark, right? No, we do not have updates on them. Instead, we have an amazing Xbox Wire announcement that the xCloud, or Xbox Cloud Gaming, as they call it, is going to be on the Oculus, or the Meta. So that is a big news article that they're going to be on the friggin' VR headset. So let me paint this quick picture for you. You're going to put the strap-on VR thing onto your head. Before you do that, you got to make sure you Bluetooth sync your controller that you have. If you don't have it, it's $70. They got a new gray silver special one that's coming your way. It doesn't matter the color because you can't see it. You got the VR headset on. So you put your VR headset on, you Bluetooth the controller to the headset. Then after you do that, then what you're going to do is you're going to go into the Android or a Meta store and download the Cloud app. First, you got to make sure that your headset is on Wi-Fi. And then with the amazing Wi-Fi power of the headset, I'm sure they got a blazing Wi-Fi 6 streaming capable Wi-Fi piece in the headset for only $400, I'm sure. And that is going to transmit signals to your router, back to the headset, Bluetooth to your controller, and you're going to be able to play Xbox Cloud Gaming on a 7-inch screen that's strapped to your face that looks like a 100-inch screen in blazing resolution, the size of the screen, and enjoy Xbox games that way. Nothing? No comment from the grinders. No comment from the grinders, dude. Okay. That is it. Yeah, that is the big announcement that came out today. It was we're going to play Xbox Cloud games on a simulated screen in VR our good friend at Facebook, the person we can trust and everything. Oh, and they're also bringing Excel and Word.
Some bullshit. It sounds like some trash, man. It sounds like a terrible experience.
I think
horrible experience.
Hold on, I think I have an image of it. I think I shared it with the mooch. Hold on, let me see. I think I shared what this incredible technology allows you. Game night 1, 2, 3. He says with the 5. He goes, Jez, don't forget the Meta only has 1 to 2 hours of battery life.
You're my number one customer.
Well, hey, you know what that means? You only need. What do you need? You only need 12 minutes to Hades.
New games are coming fast. 12 minutes in Hades.
You only need 12 minutes in Hades. 12 minutes.
All on Game Pass. Some of them are like a requiem.
Guys,
play first and want to play last. To ground the shroom and doom. 'Cause they're all on Game Pass. Among the Ascent and more.
That's it. You only need 12 minutes in Hades. So we got the 2 hours in there. We got the 2 hours. Where the hell was the picture of Mooch? I wanted to show. I tweeted out to Mooch. Hold on. Because he was asking about the what it looks like, and I think I have an image of what it looked like, dude. It is like, and again, it's like if you watch Netflix on the if you watch, here it is. Oh baby, there it is. This is what they tweeted about. This is it, everybody. Look at this. And nonetheless, you're playing Microsoft Flight Simulator in a simulated screen with an Xbox controller hooked up to this. This is what they're doing. This is it. It's the Android app. This is what they're writing about as they get into the holiday season. And they didn't even announce a release date to this wonderful feature. This is what it is. Who is this for? Who? And guess what? Wait, there was more announcements about xCloud in this wonderful thing. They also have Xbox on ARM. Oh my. You know, all those ARM PC processors that are out there. You know, the weak laptops that just run off of mobile processors. You could count them on your friggin' digits, 1 and 2. They're the Surface. That's all that's available. You could play cloud on ARM. Wait a second. Let me find out how great ARM is. I need to know. Everybody who has an ARM mobile, you have a laptop running on a mobile version of Windows. Please don't raise your hands all at once. Let's talk about their wait, let me see. They also announced, hold on, I do have this because I sent it to Frog on this one. Frog, here it is. And Frog was like, what? I was like, there it is, Frog. Tom Warren, you know, hype man himself, the Xbox app on Windows now runs natively on ARM devices. It also includes Xbox Game Cloud, so you could stream on devices like the new SQ3 Surface Pro 9. So I was like, holy shit. I was like, wait a second.
I don't play this game.
No, we're not talking about Arc 2 yet. I can't. I was like, wait a second. I need to know how many. Wait a second. ARM Windows. Fisher Price laptops, Ryan says. You're goddamn right, Fisher Price laptops. But wait, there's more. Because now I come into here and I'm like, wait a second. I really need to find out. What the hell? Is my thing not working? I really need to find out how many ARM. Like, when was this released? Because why would they be doing this now and putting this in their blog, right? So I said, let's look at Windows on ARM laptops. ARM laptops. Because I remember this was something being pushed real early on. And I was like, wait a second. Windows, where is it? Yeah, Surface Q SQ3. Well, you know when the SQ1 came out? Because that's what it was. It was the Surface X. Does everybody remember the Surface X? Oh my God. Do you remember the Surface X? It was the first one. Oh my God. I'm sure you all remember the Surface X, right? Because now the Xbox app finally runs natively on ARM. So that's the Surface, the X2. Look at when the Surface Pro, the Surface X came out. Look, it runs off an Adreno mobile processor. So it's not capable of running any games, but it could run Xbox Cloud games. Look, it came out 3 years ago. And then an update came out in 2020. You're talking about, and now they updated to SQ3. Are we really talking about laptops from 2-3 years ago? Now your Xbox Cloud gaming app runs on those ARM laptops? And besides the Surface ARM laptops, I can't remember any other Fisher-Price laptops. Goddamn Leapfrog ones. Like this is mass market? Like, what are we putting the cloud on? You're putting it on little niche things like, on Meta. And we're going to put this on the ARM processor laptops. Like, dude, what? Who? What? You're chumming the water, man. They're throwing shit against the wall to see what sticks. It's so stupid. You got an ARM laptop. It's running on a laptop that cost, and guess what? Those laptops are not $500, $400. They're $1,900. The Surface Pro X was started at $899. It's not even like these are $200, $300 laptops. These are almost $1,000 laptops. Dude, you can get a full CPU in a goddamn laptop for $1,000. They got the balls to charge this much for a laptop. $899 with 8 gigabytes of RAM. Who? This is the market. This is the mass market. It must blown up since it came out 3 years ago, right? Right? This is what you're focused on Xbox. This is celebration. Right? Windows on ARM must be blowing up. What are you focused on? This is what they're putting xCloud on. You guys interested? You knew there was even ARM laptops. I think that's the question I should ask. Did you even know that there was the Windows operating system works on mobile processors? Because that was the whole push for the store. Remember, the Windows Store only would work they were trying to create an Apple ecosystem where the Windows Store was the way to deliver apps to a computer that was locked behind. You won't get the full Windows experience. They did this with Windows 10. They were trying to push kind of this iPad version of Windows on computers. And the problem is they could not get the ARM processors to work. And I have your answer right here. Windows on ARM stated as failed as of January. When was this? January 2022? Like, Windows on ARM laptops have completely failed to take off, largely due to the poor value proposition, with ARM laptops being much less powerful than Intel devices, also having compatibility issues. It appears straightforward insight that it has dawned on Qualcomm, who blamed the failure of platforms on OEMs charging more than $1,000 for an always connected PC. One of the points that they were not satisfied with the early devices was inadequate pricing. Now, the Surface Pro X costs more than $1,500. And now, as usual, the Apple with their M1 processor destroyed this whole idea. And now they're up to the M2. So, there you go. This is the devices that they put xCloud on today. This is the device. The dead Windows ARM platform. Hip hip hooray! Hip hip hooray!
And they also,
yeah,
the new Meta headset. Did you see the price of it?
Oh, the $1,500. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure they're lining up for that one. I don't know what, and this is the thing. Like, here it is. This is where is it in this article? Here. Here it is. And we just came out of the pandemic, right? Hit the like button, everybody. Here we go. We just came out, and I said I wanted to fly by this topic, but this is something that was grinding my gears when I was reading this stuff, as you could tell. Because I don't, this focus of them, it's been Activision and lawyer documents and this shit. Again, more about the where. And I'm like, what? Oh, Pentiment. No. This is the thing. You could play, and this is the thing when we're talking about cloud, and we're going to talk about Game Pass and its revenue and all this other shit. You could play. Then this is to keep in mind when you don't see the Xbox games charting. You don't see the growth happening there. You see them buying more and more shit to scramble around because it's not growing. Guess what? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. Game Pass Ultimate across devices of the cloud, Android phones, tablets, iOS devices, select smart TVs, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, new gaming handhelds like the Logitech G Cloud, G Spot bitch. That's what that thing is. Recently added Google Chromebooks and now multiple flavors of Windows PCs to play great games such as, quote, The Gunk, Power Wash Simulator, and Tunic, and games from Xbox Studios such as, you know it, Deathloop and Grounded. What a lineup. What a lineup. My goodness gracious. Those are some power words right there.
Hold on.
Okay.
Holy Spirit, activate.
Oh, no.
Holy Spirit,
no.
activate. Holy Spirit, activate.
That's your 2022
Activate.
right there. They forgot Peppa Pig. You're right, Virtual Reality. They forgot Peppa Pig. This is not coming from the Grindhouse. This is not, listen, this is not, nobody on this panel, myself included, this is not made up. This is their article, and this is the games that they're hyping to play on a flavor of a Windows PC. I'll tell you what that flavor is. The flavor is shit. That's what the flavor is. On PCs that have been dead for 2 years. They threw Game Pass on that shit. And they threw it on a goddamn screen for Meta, for a $1,500 goddamn headset and a budget Oculus. To stream games in a browser, within a screen, on a headset, Bluetooth to a phone, with a power Wi-Fi, on a headset. Jesus. You're going to throw up when you see the friggin' lag and latency in that game. Think about it. It's horrible. But there you go. This is what they hyped up today. xCloud is on everything, especially the new G-Spot, G-Shit. Logitech Cloud that doesn't work once you leave your home Wi-Fi. Then you got to search McDonald's and Starbucks to connect that shit because it doesn't have a 5G spot. But who wants to play games on 5G anyway? But yeah. And now updated app to play on Windows PCs running ARM64 like the new Surface devices announced today for the low price of $1 goddamn $1,000. Dude. There's no words for this shit, man. This is ridiculous. This is what they think. They think they are so out of tune. They're so out of tune with that lineup. It's not even decent ass games that you want to play on this shit, dude. It's like, who? The Gunk? Didn't the Gunk come out last year? Whatever. And now we're going to come to the quality session of us talking about services and subscriptions. Guys, did you see the lineup for the PS Plus? We'll have to do some grinding on this one. But did you see the lineup here for the PS Plus games coming to their service? Let me read it to you guys. Did you hear it? These are the games that are coming that they announced. So for the PlayStation Plus, new on the game catalog on Premium and Extra is GTA Vice City, the Definitive Edition, Dragon Quest 11 S Echoes of the Elusive Age, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Dragon Quest Builders 2, And Dragon Quest Heroes 2, which I played that was a pretty good game. Inside the Medium.
Okay.
The Medium makes its way to the Sony subscription service. Who's playing the Medium?
Not me.
Oh, shit. Who's that? Not playing it? Salty.
Who the fuck is that?
Who did that? Who this?
You didn't sign up for the Medium?
It's coming.
Bro. With the Resident Evil 1 camera?
I wonder if the controller shakes. Bro.
Who made that? The Bloober team?
Bloobers, yeah, who are supposedly making some Silent Hill, but the Medium makes its way to subscription services. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yahoo! Did you ever play? Did you play it on Xbox?
No, I got my fill on Twitch or whatever I watched it on.
I played it. Hey, I bought it, Jez. I bought it.
Shit!
You bought it.
We need a review right now.
Yo, man. Let me
How'd
tell you
feel
something,
after
man.
that?
I've never in my life had a game put me to sleep.
Game.
But that one did it. Put me to fucking sleep.
Yeah, all these people are struggling with insomnia,
I couldn't
man.
do
Just
it.
Pop in the media. The
Yeah,
Medium.
I played about I put about 4 hours into it, and I was like, "Yep, this is not good." So, yeah.
Holy shit! Oh my god! Yeah, well, that's coming. The Medium. Naruto, Assassin's Creed Game Chronicles, Assassin's Creed India, Assassin's Creed Russia. Jesus, stop making Assassin's Creed games. Assassin's Creed Remastered 3. This is Ubisoft for you. Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Hohokum. And then on top of that, we got all the Yakuzas. Man, I feel like the Yakuzas are turning into the Assassin's Creeds. They're farming those shits out. They're back. They're coming. They're going. What the hell are these Yakuzas?
Happy Meals, shit.
Dude, yeah. Yakuza 3, 4, 5. Like, man, they used to be like, they just stopped making them now. Just keep putting them in each pass.
What's the last Yakuza that came out? I'm not
6.
familiar with it.
Well, no,
okay,
if you want to call that other one Yakuza,
Like a Dragon,
which has horseshit. That
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Judgment
And
was a spinoff.
They gotta stop. They gotta slow it down because it is becoming Assassin's Creed and Far Cry and
Yakuza 6 was good.
It's like a Call of
Yeah,
Duty.
they
annual
really need to
release going
stop.
on.
Yeah, that you don't.
I did
need
not like
big
a
open
Dragon.
world
I did not
game
like it.
like that every year. You just don't need that.
So,
That's what I'm saying. Like everything is kind of carbon copied, man, with these companies. That
What
Ubisoft
ga-
especially, man, they have no originality at all. Like they've lost the originality they used to have back in the day when they started with Rayman and all that. Like these guys can't make a game to save their lives. I feel.
So
They
what's
just
the
can't.
best Yakuza game to play? Like if I was gonna try,
I like 6.
Get into
I
it.
do not like
Everybody
a Dragon.
says everybody says what is it, 6, 7, and then
6.
I think a dragon.
So
It's
Like a
one of the
Dragon-
last. It's the last couple of ones. It's the last couple.
is
of
that in one of these services? Because I know
I don't
they're
know if
putting them in,
6
like Happy
is.
Meals.
I'm not sure if
ones.
6
Yeah, I
is.
don't know.
But Yakuza Like a Dragon, that one had the turn-based fighting, which I didn't really care for. I liked the full-on fighting in Yakuza 6. Like, I did like that. But I would, the other ones are pretty good. Kiwami, I played Kiwami and Kiwami 2. That's in there already. So now they just put 3, 4, and 5 in there. But those are the remastered ones. But yeah, Carl says the 6 is good. But you know what? I'm gonna say like this list. Say what you want with the games, but man, this is some stacked list that's coming to the services. It's pretty impressive. Like, but the one problem I have with the whole thing is that premium tier. I know I talk about frogs a lot. The classic games. Dude, don't give a PS3 games that were already in PS
They're
Now.
horror shit, right?
That's some bull.
That's some
Hey,
bull.
That's some bull.
Let me rant about this for
Go
a little
ahead,
bit
'cause I was
because
gonna rant
people
about
say
it
people say that we never talk bad about Sony. Like
Oh yes, we do. They,
the thing is like it just seems like a second thought for Sony, like
Yeah.
this classic situation, and it never really seems like they've they need to dive in, and it's like you're either in or you're out. Obviously
Yep.
we give a lot of crap to Microsoft and Xbox, but their strategy to roll out backwards compatibility was awesome, man. I mean, there are still
Yeah.
some games that you can't do, but the ability to just put your disc in
They
there,
were
if you
dedicated to
have
that, 'cause-
it,
yeah,
play it.
yeah.
They didn't have anything else, right?
They didn't
But
have anything else, but they were dedicated to that shit. Yeah.
they were dedicated. They were full in for a while until they're like, okay, we're done with this. But Sony, it's like okay, we're gonna do it for some things, and then it's just like you have because I wanted to play, what was it, the God of Wars, and I'm still annoyed that I have to do that via streaming. You know, it's like there should be a solution to that already. It's just like I get the architecture and everything else like that, but Cerny's a genius, and then the lack of support for some of these games that people have been asking for a long time, and then they propped it up to be something that was going to be, a big part of the service, and it's just kind of like, yeah, we'll toss you some bullshit, and then you guys can move on with your life.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like the fact that they're charging extra for the games of like they hyped everybody with the PS1, PSP, PS2 games, and they've been lacking on that, and they're trying to use PS3 in the classics section, which only could be streaming. Like I think that's some bull, and I don't think the trials really hold the weight. No, for that value. So like right now, if you're on the cusp, you go with the middle one. Do not go with the high one unless you want to play some like 4 or 5 goddamn old PSP games.
Do you think they spread themselves too thin? Because it's like you have Xbox on the other hand that like doesn't give you options, and then it's like Sony gave you all these options, but at the same time, I don't know if they have the content to support the tiers. Like I don't know. It's because it's like the trials. It's they give you this list of perks.
You're my
right?
number one customer.
And I don't feel like it's the beginning of the service, but I don't feel like I'm getting enough bang for my buck. I have premium,
Yeah.
So
the middle one is, and but maybe the reason why they're really not doing that because they know of the upgrades that everybody kind of stacked or had the combination like I had, and I'm good until October of next year of premium of the high one. So like maybe. They like, hey, you know what? People got, they kind of got grandfathered in to the higher tier. So you know what? We'll put a little game here and there because I don't think they're showing any evidence that I would even subscribe to that. If I had the choice, I would go with the middle one and call it a day. I would not do the high one because I'm not those classic games unless maybe they start rolling out and they make the PS3 games back like native play. Then. And that's
if
part
they can
of
do that. If they can do that,
then I would say, okay, well, now if you download PS3 games and you want to go call them classics, fine. But the problem is too is that a lot of the games were games that are already in PS Now, just sitting there, and they're kind of reintroducing them back. And I'm like,
like games with gold, they'd be like, hey, we gave you this game, but we're going to give you that 2 years later, and hopefully you forgot that we already gave it to you.
Hey, we're recycling this game.
Totally agree.
But I think, because what's incredible though, if you look at the PS4, PS5 games, dude, it is like lights out $15 a month for what they're giving. The games that they're giving in that thing, I think it trumps Game Pass, and I can't believe what they're doing because if you see what Microsoft's doing day and date compared to the games that you're getting in PS Plus, like no way. Like these are actually known games that you're getting in there that you may have missed, you may have played and returned. I think it's a good fail-safe, like a catcher's net to games that maybe you may have missed. Whereas I find that Xbox is kind of like if you played everything that Xbox had to offer in the past, the new stuff they got right now, the day and date stuff is really not,
Did you guys see that I'm not going to mention his name, old man Logan, who tried to get me in a gotcha moment?
I did see that. I saw
Did you see that shit?
Yeah, I saw that.
I'll go on this rant on TSGP, but essentially what it breaks down to, he's trying to do the gotcha moments, like pulling up my game history, and he's like, look, you shit on Game Pass, but you're playing all the games. And I'm like, have you not been listening to any of my content? He's been a guest and other people have.
Been on the show. Yeah,
I've said a million times that I get that shit for free, right? So of course it's like if you see something that you don't value to put your money in, let's say it's like a mill or something like that, right? You don't see the value with the price. So you're just like, nah, I'm gonna pass on that. But someone comes to you and they're like, hey, we're going to give you this meal for free. Do you think you'd eat that meal? Does it have to be a bad meal for you to not want to invest into it? That's what people are not understanding. Are there good games in Xbox Game Pass? Of course. Yeah. Of course there is. The reason why I will not jump in there right now, and the reason why a lot of people aren't jumping in there, is because it's not what they said it was going to be, where it'd be like, hey, every quarter we're going to put a AAA big game in there. It's like they haven't had a game in a calendar year, or they're not going to have a game in a calendar year. And it's just like, yeah, I'm playing these games to get gameplay for my, my videos or podcasts, and I'm out. And it's like, yeah, I get that shit for free. I would not pay for it, because essentially what it boils down to is it's a glorified indie pass. That's what it is. And then with Game Pass, they can take the games out as well. So with these PlayStation Plus games, you get them, and it's, as long as you have a subscription active, you're going to have those games. It's not like they can just take them out of your library.
Yeah,
right?
the PlayStation Plus ones. Yeah, but these are the ones and the ones in Game Catalog function similar to Game Pass. So they come and go.
So the different tiers. Yeah, obviously.
But like the main ones are like they're akin to the games with gold, which, by the way, Microsoft has dropped the 360 games from 4. Now it's just 2 old ass bargain bin games you never heard of, Xbox games from the Xbox One generation. That's all they give you. So they've already devalued as much as they could. If you just think games with Fool's Gold was any lower, it has gone lower than that. Fucking winning limbo and shit.
Fucking Fool's Gold.
Now it's, dude, it is worse than Fool's Gold, because they just took away 2 360 games, and they said now you're going to get 2 Walmart knee-deep, face-down, ass-up games coming to you on Xbox. That's it. You're getting 2 now. You went from 4. They didn't even say we're going to get back. They're not even trying to evolve that service. They're trying to phase that thing out and make it so distasteful that people just pissed about it and go to Game Pass. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
At what point would Microsoft can that?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They tried to last year. They're trying to overprice it and underdeliver. They're trying to make it seem less valuable and move people to the value of Game Pass and xCloud. That's what they're doing. And they're yeah. And I think Call of Duty might be one of those things, right? Like just
I was about to say, eventually that service, that whole goal is going to be gone. It's going to be absorbed into Game Pass, and Game Pass is just going to be the standard.
Yeah,
and I think that.
But how are you going to get those people, though, Frog, to pay to go from $60 a year or $5 a month to pay for Game Pass? The only way you have to get more money out of all those subscribers.
There's some people there that I'm a guy.
But how do you get more money out of them? Like, what do you do?
It's hard. It's hard when you don't have the software, and I think me and Sick were talking about this, right? Like when Halo was coming out, and I was like, I'm buying it because I'm a big Halo fan, and I think Sick was like, wait, why? This Game Pass it, and I was like, but I'm a Halo fan, I'm huge. And then when it all came down to it, the person got screwed over a lot of times who buys the game. The people who buy their game on Xbox get screwed over.
You know why? You know why? Because the games. Oh my god, I hate this service game and shit. But the games are starting to be designed for the service. Right. So the problem is Microsoft is selling retail price games and selling them and putting them in the service, but they're not giving you a full product.
Exactly.
So they're expecting you to pay full price for it if you buy the retail version.
I think that's what
you're getting the Game Pass, but you're getting the service Game Pass crap game. It's not you're not getting your money's worth. You're not getting
they're like, hey,
worth.
it's a $60 game, but really it's made for the service, and you'll be an idiot paying $60 for. Not saying, Frog, you're an idiot, but I'm saying like they're trying to make people like see if these was $60 for 3 mission types.
Six whole thing was like, yo, why even buy this when it's an approved entity? And I just wanted the mind frame is it's Halo, it's going to be good, and then lo and behold, it wasn't a great game. And I was like, shit.
Yeah.
Like who would have thought? You know what I'm saying?
No.
And it was kind of one of those moments. I was like, yo, do I really need to buy anything on this console at all anymore? The determinant factor is like, what have they been releasing that's been good? Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like,
and that's the thing too. Nothing. It's like this sustainability, and that's what I think Salty was trying to say is like, if they had a good kind of flow of games coming in there that you're like, that's interesting. You might want to say, you know what, I'm going to subscribe because I find some value in that. But the games they've been putting in there, it's been like maybe they have a good month, like with Ninja Turtles, and then there's no consistency. There's no it's just like then it dropped off. Just like last year when they had. I did a video where I was like, Xbox is turning over a new leaf with Outriders. I was like, whoa, is this what they're going to do? You know, like, wow, so now they're getting Outrise. What are they going to do next month? And then they did MLB. I was like, whoa, wait, is Outrise and MLB? Like, they're turning a new leaf. They're trying to put some games in here that are kind of like, oh, look at this. And even day and date. And guess what? That dropped off like a bat out of hell. Then they came out with Back for Ass, which that game sucked. This year, they didn't even try. Dude, they didn't even try for this year. This year, they're like the 2 games that they got in Game Pass that were worth a damn. We should have known when they launched with goddamn Execution, whatever the hell that was. That horrible Rainbow Six goddamn horrible.
Yeah, we should have. Extraction.
Extraction. Pull it out my ass. Extraction. Holy shit. Then, now they had 2 big games. I think they got Plague's Tale, which is a big get. I like that. And they had Ninja Turtles. That's about it. That's their whole year.
You're right.
And how much would you have paid if you paid the whole year?
I just bought yeah, exactly. $60 maybe, because I think it's $60 for that Ninja Turtle, maybe $90 for those 2 games if you pay them for full price.
Like for the service the whole year is what I'm saying, because it's like
$180.
Yeah, so it doesn't warrant.
It doesn't.
No, it doesn't warrant the price. You're
people
right.
will automatically lose sight of what happened the whole year. And they'll be like,
shit.
at the end of the year, they'll be like, hey, we're getting Plague's Tale, and we're getting this, we're getting drippy alien penises.
And man, that's coming. What's his name? Greenberg is hyping up that Scorn, man. Yo, he's getting those alien strap-ons. No Cap says, watch your mouth. Back for Blood is his shit. I'm like, oh shit, Back for Ass.
Oh my god,
dude, that is.
Shit? Remember they were
no comment.
Remember they were hyping the shit out of that, and then that was dog shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
Crossfire X got DLC before Halo. Oh shit. Oh man, Crossfire X. What are we doing there?
The problem with Game Pass, what I try to explain is they made promises and they're not keeping those promises.
Yes, so you can't even do that.
They can't even do it from a first party perspective. And how many years in are we in from Game Pass? Game Pass being a thing, 5, 6, 7?
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
So it's like that excuse of them getting off the ground is bullshit. It's like if any of these major streaming services that started off the ground, like I know they're different mediums, right? We're doing video games versus whatever, movies and TV. But if you take Disney Plus, for example, it'd be like them not having any original shows or any kind of content and just having months of bullshit. It's like, how many people would actually sub to their service? Not that many. And that's the problem why Xbox Game Pass isn't growing, and they have to like conflate the numbers and inflate them and lie and all this other stuff, is because it's not growing at a rate it needs to, because Netflix, they pay all this money to get they have, I don't know how many hundreds of millions, like 150 million subs or something like that, but they're still in the red. They're in debt, like a big time debt. And it's just, I don't know, man. They have trillions of dollars and they have unlimited pockets and stuff like that. But eventually, you're going to have to like show substantial growth for this to be sustainable, because people like, there's tons of experts around the industry that have said that you need significantly more numbers to sustain a service like this.
Yeah, like 70 million. I'm going to talk about that, like the growth and stuff. But it's crazy. Like, what they're going to need to show the numbers, dude. And we're seeing numbers slip out. But first, before we get into the big topic, I wanted to talk about the second big topic, which was Hermen Hulst talking about PC. Oh, damn, dude. This was the fire before these documents came out. Before Brazil had their capoeira excitement down there with the Brazilian government. And then now the CMA coming in, slapping Phil Spencer across the face. Now we had Hermen Hulst coming out doing interviews. Now, this is some grinds my gears shit right here. Let me tell you something about this Sony. This needs to stop. So Hermen Hulst, I don't care how many buttons you have undone. I know you could probably, turn your yacht around and beat some ass. But I'm going to tell you this, Hermen Hulst, right now. Do not. This is a message from the grinders in the grindhouse. Stop doing interviews and show the goddamn games. I hate when they sit there and talking about gaming theory and gaming and this is how we're gonna take your money and this and that. And shout out to Salty, because I was on the show when I went crazy on this stuff, because that's when it was the hot topic last week. I just couldn't stand when they're sitting there and they're talking about, well, we'll put games on the platform in maybe about a year or two, maybe years. And it's like, shut up. All right? What games? Show me the games. Because as soon as you show the games and then send the stupid shit, people won't go crazy because they got some games to talk about. But when you're just sitting here talking about PC ports and not showing goddamn games, what's your roadmap? What's going on? I know we got God of War, but you need to show more. Stop sitting there and with these stupid, I don't know who these people are, Axios.com. Get the fuck out, Axios. Who are these Venezuelan government bullshit? Stop sitting down with these stupid-ass business people and talking about the business because that's boring. That sucks. Show the games. What happened to our infamous Jim Ryan, Gordon Ramsay-looking son of a bitch, you beef Wellington, rice risotto in the goddamn oven? What? Where the hell is his thing where he goes like this?
Enough from me. We're going to have the games do our talking.
Where is it, goddamn Gordon Ramsay? Where the hell is it, you son of a bitch, Gordon Ramsay-looking bastard? What is enough from you?
Enough
the
from
games.
Me. We're going to have the games do our
Let's
talking.
do it. So it's not Hermen Hulst sitting here talking about making live service games. We're going to put them on PC. I might put them on my ass. I don't want to hear it. I want to see it. Show me the games. And that, sitting here and talking about this stuff. And then here comes the interpretations and all. This is the shit that bothered me when Phil Ness was sitting there interviewing with goddamn Fortune, goddamn Macaroni Grill. I don't know who he was interviewing with, fucking Outback and shit, telling him about games. Nobody gave a shit. They're just interviewing him. And he's just talking out his ass. And he's like, I'm so excited about what I didn't show. Listen, Sony, don't fall into that trap. Don't fall into the stupid ass trap of sitting there and getting these people from Stephen Totillo at Axios Gaming. Who the fuck Axios Gaming? Why do they need to know what the hell's going on? And interviewing, who else he interviewed with somebody else? These bogus ass places that he's interviewing with. Who the hell did he talk to? Research firm Newzo. Shut up, all these research firms. Show the goddamn games. Now, the topic that he was talking about is saying, it's about games. I'm going to put them maybe about in a year, put them on PC. And then after that, there could be some games, the service game that we put on PC and console a day one. But we're never going to take away from the importance of the gamer, of the PlayStation gamer. But we're being diverse. This is what he's saying. Sony is still a person, and I said this so many times on this goddamn show. Sony is going to dip in every area. They're going to put games day one. They're going to put games on the goddamn service. They're going to put games on day one on PC. They're going to put games on VR. They're going to put games at the AAA games that they're going to charge whatever for, $70. The blockbuster movies, you go to the movie theater to see them. They are multifaceted. The game will go where they figure where it will go. If the think the game needs to be on PC and console day one, they will make a game that fits that model. If they make a game that's going to be a single player blockbuster blowing out your ass goddamn adventure game, that's $70 day one on PC on goddamn console. And then, once it dries up a little bit, we'll put it on PC. And then at that time, we'll put it in the PlayStation Plus service and you can enjoy it included in your subscription. The waterfall method. Because everybody forgets, just 2 weeks ago, Shuhei Yoshida said the same shit. We're not putting our games on a service day one. We're going to do the waterfall method approach where each goddamn price point and person could purchase it at where they want to play it. And we're going to do that. That defeats the purpose of putting it everywhere for $70 day one because the only place that you can go is down. You put it everywhere day one, $70. The only place it goes is down. You put it on PlayStation at $70, then you can put it at $50. And put it at $60. Put it in the service. Put it down there. And then, guess what? 2 years, a year later, you could then put it on PC for $70, $60. Watch them whine and crying and hack it. Put it on PC for $60. Spider-Man was 2018. It sold $60 today. If Spider-Man was on day one, PC and console, you think they could sell it $60 for today? No. And they lose the opportunity of taking potential customers maybe want to buy a console and they don't want to wait. Maybe that's few and far between because PC gamers love their PC, but it might move some people to buy a console if they really want to play it, if that's the only place to play. They lose that opportunity by putting it day one on PC. But not saying they won't do it, but my God, This lit up the internet, and everybody's like, "Look, they're following Xbox." I'm just like, I roll my goddamn eyes at this shit. Yeah, so what do you think?
The thing is I've stated this kind of multiple times. I obviously wasn't with PlayStation from the beginning. I was with Xbox, had Xbox consoles and Nintendo. Regardless of that, I do see the concern of a lot of people. Like
I saw, I heard some. Yeah,
I would say the old guard is what some of them are called, and it's blatantly obvious that this isn't the Sony that was the Sony with Sean Layden, or even before that. And the thing is like, that's the way it is with businesses in general. Times change, businesses adapt, or they kind of dissolve and go away, right? There's multiple examples of it. Businesses that were on the top and then they're on the bottom, even a couple of years later, because they made the wrong decisions or they didn't evolve and adapt and stuff like that. So from a business perspective, you kind of see why Sony brought in a Jim Ryan. It's just they want to capitalize on areas that they didn't capitalize on before, but they have different strategy. But at the same time, when you're getting messaging that is just one after another, it's like phone. We're showing you this phone shit. We're showing you PC.
Games, like, oh god,
PC. We're going to talk about TV and movie shows that we're doing, and it seems like everything but console shit. It's like that's
2 years
the
into a new
concerning
gen.
part. Yeah, and it's like we're gonna have our DualSense work on PC. The SSD isn't what we were saying it was going to be. We talked about believing in generations, but then we changed our stance on Gran Turismo, where that's going to be next gen only title, but it's not. And it's just like people are starting to connect the dots, because if I rewound the tape 5 years ago and I asked the old guard, "Hey, do you see any PlayStation games going to PC?" And people would say, "Nah, man, that's not happening. PlayStation values their stuff." And then all of a sudden the floodgates opened up. It's like, "Hey, we're going to put this game on PC." And then it's just like, okay, well, then it's a year now. And it's like, before it was 2 years. And it's just like, that's what that's what people start to question, where it's like, it's like the Phil Spencer effect, where
it is. I saw a
Phil
lot of people
Spencer
saying,
says so much bullshit. Like, how can
can
you tell what is good, what is going to actually happen? And that's where PlayStation fans are at right now, because we all invested a certain amount of money into the console space, like buy a PlayStation 5 for $400-$500 plus games, and then you're seeing the company itself kind of focus on other shit. You're like, hey, I'm a consumer. I paid into this platform. It's a closed platform, and it's just if what it funnels down to is we're a dying breed, guys. We're like the fossils. You know what I'm saying? Like the console market. Sean Layden talked about this. He said there's a finite amount, there's a pot, and he showed the numbers and he talked about it. And bottom line, no matter how much we talk about it or want things to be a certain way, these businesses have a bottom line to meet with the shareholders and all this other stuff and metrics and stuff like that. And bottom line, we're like this small piece of the pie. Okay, we are. So it's like when they're focusing on getting more money, that's why they talk about PC. That's why they talk about mobile. That's why we have this free-to-play bullshit like Overwatch 2. Don't make me rant on that.
What a disaster that is.
Don't make me rant on that. Okay, so it's a reskinned Overwatch 1, okay? So you thought loot boxes were bad?
The repackage of the same goddamn game.
Bullshit, okay, is what they did. Because what they wanted to do is they wanted a piece of that games as a service Fortnite model, where we're going to have a battle pass. We're going to have bullshit skins that you can only get in certain ways, and you want to spend more money. And that's where the industry's headed. And no matter what we say, if we're like PlayStation fans or Xbox fans, really the only company that's really keeping it traditional is Nintendo. Okay, but they're starting to branch out.
Well, they put games on mobile, but it's not the same.
They're doing mobile, but
they put some mobile games on there.
They're the most consistent. They're the most consistent right now. But you can see they're making like theme parks, they're making movies, they're going to get a little taste of that action. And it's just
absolutely,
like I said, it's money. It's
all about expanding your brand as far as this, this PC shit with Microsoft, I mean, not Microsoft, with Sony. Yeah, I saw it, I didn't want to believe it, a few years ago, but they're gradual. They're doing it a gradual way instead of doing it the way Microsoft did with Quantum Break and just going, head first, PC.
Ripping the Band-Aid off.
Right. So they're kind of slowly getting PlayStation users accustomed with their first party games coming to PC later. Then they're going to do these service games where they're day and date on PC. They're kind of making PlayStation more of an ecosystem instead of a console where you just consume their games. I don't like it. I don't think it's a good idea. But if I'm gonna, if I'm bought in on what Mark Cerny said on the road to PlayStation, that them being able to develop their games for this unique piece of hardware with this crazy IO is going to give us all these new gaming experiences. But if you're telling me a year from now or a year plus from now, you're also putting the game on PC, well, that doesn't sound like porting it to me. It sounds like PC is already in mind when the game is being designed. So from the
that's what
design,
was saying. Yeah,
from,
you were saying
right. So from the design standpoint, from the base concept of your game, you're factoring in the lowest common denominator, which if it's not a cross-gen game, which is PC and these weak-ass graphics cards. So our PlayStation users going to get shortchanged by getting games that are hampered by PC development? Are we going to get games that are buggy as hell because they got to configure for all the damn graphics?
It's like the spread thin approach. In this day and date thing, it's like it doesn't matter if it goes to PC. Like, and again, maybe it's because I'm not like this amazing diehard PlayStation fan. Like I was more of Xbox and seeing those games. But I can tell you the two differences here is that when Microsoft was making that transition to PC, they made PC better than the console, and they even put some exclusive games on PC and really made a push for PC. Whereas Sony keeps reiterating that we are going to focus on our PlayStation first and then go from there. Now, whether they hold to that, we need to see. Also, the biggest problem I have with the day and date on PC is not that you could go play it on PC. It's the spreading thin of the studios. Do we not get the epic games that you're supposed to get on a dedicated platform when they have focused development? Instead, they're spread too thin. It's like, we were gonna do that, and you hear a lot of we were gonna do that, but we ran out of time, or we'll put it in the next one, and all this crap of like, you hear it even when you see it with the Halo interviews and stuff. Like, dude, we had to test all these different PCs, we had to do this stuff. When you start hearing that, you go, maybe this day and date, you're not a multi-platform studio. You're a first party working. You have
specialized
studio working on specialized hardware. Exactly.
Right. And as when you see companies like Naughty Dog who are, they're hiring for people who are good with NVIDIA graphics cards.
Yeah, like
all this stuff. So
you spreading too thin, dude.
What's gonna happen is, I hope this doesn't happen, but you got teams that are designed to make games on PlayStation hardware. Now you got them working on all these different GPUs, CPUs,
it's all about
RAM
optimization
configurations to get these games optimal. These service games, I'll say this about, I'm not going to talk about the single player games, but these games as a service games, I don't expect these games to be at the same polish level of the current first party lineup.
No way.
I do think we're going to get some good experiences, but don't expect Last of Us 1, Last of Us Part 2, God of War Ragnarok, attention to detail and graphical fidelity in these games.
Especially as an online game too.
There's no way to do that when you're you're making games that got to run like a 9, 7, whatever these bullshit ass.
I know. No, they're going to be compromises. We see this with multi-platform games. Like, in order to get something to run, you need to go with the, an optimized kind of middle of the ground. Like, you can't go. The whole idea of first party is that you the fixed hardware, and you could take all the optimization and it's more of optimization, not capability. Like, it's more of just optimizing it, because that's always the issue you see with some of these games going to PC is the optimization. They might have a 4090, the graphics card, everything's out there, but the drivers, the optimization, the optimization of the game to utilize that is the thing that's giving them bad performance. And that's the biggest hindrance to PC gaming is game optimization. You have all the hardware, the game just might not be able to function because it's not optimized for your hardware. And that's always a caveat when it comes to PC development. Now, if they start dropping the ball and cutting corners to get it out on all the systems on everything day one, that's where the concern would be. And that's where if Sony's eyeing this whole we are quality. So if they drop the ball on their main point of contention of why they're in this business is quality shows, quality content, quality entertainment, if that dips, they lose all reliability because now they're trying to fish in another stream with goddamn PC gaming. So that's the concern that I have if they want to do day and date on PC is that the quality and optimizations that you get and the feature sets that you get, because we've seen it. And that's the other problem is that we've seen this kind of fall flat on its face, this idea. And maybe because Microsoft's leading the charge with this shit, but it's not great. And, one of the things that I do notice, though, is that we were all upset about backwards compatible games that are cross-gen and cross-gen games. And, playing Horizon, I had no idea that was, it didn't feel like a cross-gen game to me. It felt like a next-gen game. So if they're able to do that, maybe we're just using the wrong example with like Halo looks like
they're
that.
Able to do what now?
Well,
if they're able to do
we remember we were complaining about cross-gen games. Like we want a full next-gen game. And the reason why is because Craig looked the way he did in Halo because it was a cross-gen game. And Microsoft was showing us not how to do it. And we thought that Sony making cross-gen games is going to be the same issue. But apparently it didn't look.
But you're talking about graphics. Graphics can scale. Obviously playing a game
I know we're going to get into this whole design and stuff. But,
But the world, the AI, the skeleton, the base foundation
and
of the
that
game
stuff we're never going to know, though. That's the problem. Like scope and scale, like
you'll never know.
And it's funny. And it's funny,
right? But if we're getting the same experiences 2 and 3 years,
I know. And shout out to Optimus Code, man. He used to fight this fight all the time about the design will be like sitting at the table when you're talking about capabilities. The design constraints will be there depending on the hardware that you're going to do. You're not going to know. And we always use the example of flying in Horizon. I remember talking about this all the time. And it was like they really wanted to do flying in Horizon, but they couldn't because the PS4 couldn't handle it. But look what they did. The PS5, they did it. But guess what? It was still working on the PS4. They got it to work on the PS4.
I'm in total agreement with what you're saying because we talked about this before.
Yeah.
The cross-gen debate was a heated one.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Microsoft fucked it up for everybody because they busted out this cross-gen example that was complete horse shit.
And Booty talked out his ass.
It looks like garbage. So, of course, people are going to be like, well, I don't want that in my game because it's going to look like this. But the thing is, it's like when you have the talent, you can kind of make up for, issues. It's like in sports.
Yep.
When you have a really good quarterback, he can make up for some issues you have. Maybe you don't have the most talented receivers, but he'll hit them in the spots that they need, and he'll get the job done. And that's the thing. It's like Sony leads the industry in talent and fostering these studios. So I think it's really multifaceted when you talk about this because cross-gen is being extended forward. That's another thing that they changed their mind about.
Yes.
So support for the PlayStation 4. And they're like, oh, wait. Did we say we're going to drop that? Maybe not. Like, no matter how many PlayStation 5s get out there, it's like eventually you got to pull that Band-Aid off. But at the same time, Arkham Knights is full next gen. I think.
Well.
And it looks like dog. Okay?
But that game started out as cross-gen. They just probably couldn't get the last. If they couldn't get the last gen versions, probably running at a decent frame rate.
I think what it really comes into is talent.
Yeah,
that studio is not on the same level as some of the top tier studios, and it doesn't matter if they had a fucking 4090 just optimizing just for that. It'd still be
still like shit.
You could have the best tools available if you're an artist, and if you're dog shit at painting, your shit ain't gonna look good. So it's like that's a lot of it's going to make up for a lot of these things, and you can't really know what was left on the cutting floor.
You don't
and
know.
I think
it's
just you don't know.
Yeah,
you know.
I remember having this. But I'm going to say, before we move on to the last topic, I do have an exclusive special guest. You guys are going to be so happy to know that I got this amazing guest here, interview, and he's going to spill the beans on how he feels about this whole thing with this PC stuff going on. So without further ado, I'm going to bring in my special guest here that is going to go through some of his honest feelings about this whole Sony PC venture.
Hi, this is Mark Cerny here. It's amazing to be here on the Grindhouse. I would like to just tell you my story about the stuff that Hermen Hulst and Jim Ryan have been talking about. You know, it wasn't so long ago that I sat on stage and talked about the SSD. Oh yeah. And I put so many people in a coma for that. But let me tell you, I worked my tootie off, working real hard on all the intricacies of the SSD and the PS5. And when I heard the news that Hermen Hulst, yeah, he could probably whoop my ass, so I'm not gonna say anything real mean, but I worked my ass off on that. And let me tell you, when he said my games are going to PC, I was like, and I don't cuss much, but I was like, bullshit. I worked so hard on that architecture of the PS5, and they're gonna take my games and put it on PC. You wanna know what, Grindhouse? I went right to that Sony headquarters and I said, let me in. And then I said, you're not gonna put my games on that PC, you son of a bitch. And I was like, I'm perturbed. This is horrible. And I spoke in my angriest voice to that Jim Ryan. And I said, you golden goddamn Ramsey son of a bitch. You are going to put my games on PC after a year? I said, I'm not going to make NAC 3. Hump, dog, bullshit. I am not making that NAC 3. And I threatened him. And then I went up to Hermen Hulst. Actually, I didn't go to Hermen Hulst, because he could whoop my ass. But I pointed to his picture on the wall. And I said, you Hermen Hulst, I am not going to make NAC 3. If you're going to put it on PC in less than a year, I'll work my ass off to the architect of the PS5. And I swear, I will not make NAC 3 for no one. If they're going to do this kind of bull. So I'm sorry, I had to come on here and tell you exactly how I feel. But please don't let Hermen Hulst and Jim Ryan know, because I'm working on the PS6. And that is going to have a glorious SSD, even more powerful than the PS5. But thank you, everybody, for this opportunity to talk about how I feel about my games going to PC in less over a year from my PS5. Thank you again, Mr. Grindhouse.
Wow. What a special interview. My goodness. That is an exclusive. You heard it here. Please, keep the rumors down. I don't know how much you wants told about Hermen Hulst, and there seems to be a disruption at Sony right now. Mark Cerny seemed a little bit upset, but everybody, he's working on the he's working on the PS6. We got confirmation the PS6 is coming out. So thank you again, Mark Cerny. What an incredible interview. Exclusive. Take that, Jeff Keighley. I get exclusive too, bitch. So now we're going to come into the wonderful legal documents of the... did you hear Mark Cerny? Was that all muted, or did you hear Mark Cerny?
I heard him.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure everybody heard Mark Cerny. I wasn't interviewing him in a toilet bowl. Make sure that he heard about him.
Isn't it Garth from Wayne's World?
Is that Garth from Wayne's World? That's exactly what he looks like. You know, it's funny. We haven't heard from Mark Cerny at all. This is amazing. Like, you know, what does he think about all this horse shit? He just talked about the architecture of the PS5 and this Premier system and stuff. And they're like, yeah, we're gonna put some games on it, then we'll throw them on PC. Fucking gabagool, goddamn T-flops. Like, get the hell out of here. Oh my god, we've been duped. Man, they duped us all. Goddamn gamers. They think the G stands for gullible.
It's buzzwords, man. Retrospect. Before these consoles launched, you had Stadia that was still alive before it got canned. They're like 8K streaming. Microsoft's putting 8K on the chips. PlayStation's talking about 8K. They're talking about ray tracing. They're talking about SSDs. And then in retrospect, it's all just horse shit.
Yeah, talking about horse shit, dude. We got these freaking legal. So this stuff, right? Oh my god, I don't know where to begin with this shit. And, you know, I shout out to Salty. Dude, watch his video. He went through it real quick and real accurate, like, of all the shit that went down in these legal documents. So watch Salty's video that came out today, because that was, I was just going to, like, say, let's play that, because that summarizes, like, everything. You must have worked your ass off on that video.
I had a Jeffrey Dahmer bit in there.
Yes, you did. We're going to watch this, dude. That meme is hilarious. This is what we're gonna do.
Sit down. We're gonna be watching hours of Game Pass.
Oh my gosh, dude! So apparently, so Brazil had the main topic here. The main thing is what I wanted to point out is one thing that nobody's really speaking about is this whole Activision deal. Really is bringing out a lot of the nuances of things that Microsoft did not share with us, right? And, you know, from a Game Pass revenue coming in, which, by the way, they removed it now from that document. They retracted it. They retracted the document, because that was definitely something that should have not been shared. So shout out to Company of Gamers Chat. They pointed that out, that they took out that 2.9 million or whatever. Was it billion or million? What was it? It was million hoes. So they got 2.9 million hoes. I think it's millions, right? Billions, I don't know. But anyway, this was removed from the documents now. It wasn't supposed to be shared. But everybody's like, look, Microsoft making money, we're good. Listen, I'm going to tell you this thing. We know revenue and profits and all this other trash that are going on.
Do we though? Billion. Xbox people don't know what the fuck revenue is compared to profit.
They have no clue.
If it slapped them in the face, all right?
But the one motif that has been shown and shared, even with the Brazilian approval, and now with the CMA, what we've been seeing is the main thing is we've now, I think they acknowledged it as well, what I spoke about last week, is how irrelevant and how insignificant Xbox really is to the gaming market. And it's not like saying like insignificant, like it's just business wise, it is such a small fraction of what the gaming market is. And just showing like it's not a W, because what we're seeing is how much they lost last year. I think if coming out of the 360 generation, it would have been a different story. But it shows how much they lost in mind share wise, global mind share, and how dire it is not to release quality games in half a decade. That you become so irrelevant. You're fourth or fifth, he says, in the gaming space. I don't know who the hell's third. If it's just Sony and Nintendo, who's third? The Ouya? Who's fourth and fifth? I don't even know. He said fourth and fifth. I'm like, who's he talking about? Is he talking about cell phones? I don't know. But they're so bad that they're outside.
We're behind the Ouya.
I don't know what they're behind. He goes to fourth and fifth. And then I was like, wait, Sony, Nintendo? Well, who's the other one? Who's third?
Well, Jez, like, it's crazy how they're trying to get this deal passed. They're like shitting on themselves. They're taking.
Dude, it is. But Brazil shitted on them too in the approval. Like, they are shitting on themselves, but.
I titled my video the way I did, the $1 trillion Cinderella story. The underdog, right? Like, underdog. What is this? What is this? I mean, really, come on, man.
Like, global stats counter here, I have up here, had PlayStation at 80. What is this thing? Console operating market shares, September 2029. This thing, again, from an analyst, has the PlayStation at 86.84% and Xbox at 13%. I don't know why Nintendo's at 0.04. Market share? I thought Nintendo would be up there. I don't know who this is. But this was Boom shit or whatever, Boomsticks, saying like, this is why Microsoft has to compete because Sony is dominating. We're shit. We suck. Like, I love how everybody's saying that Xbox is horrible now.
I thought Cold Eastwood and all them said that they were the industry leader or the market leader. Or
oh,
whatever.
yeah. Dude, they said that they're the market leader and all this other stuff. They said Xbox was coming back. Halo was back. That's the problem. It's like everybody said like Microsoft was hanging in there. They're just about to make it. They're going to get pound back after Sony. And meanwhile, what we're seeing in these documents is how far behind they are. And that even with Activision, their self-proclaimed statements, even with Activision, they still will not remain a leader. And Xbox and Sony and Nintendo will still be bigger. This is from them, from their document. People are like, they're lying. Do you think they're lying? I think they're telling the blatant ass truth because they wouldn't spend $70 billion if they were winning.
The interesting thing here, did you catch that tidbit in the details where they said that they don't use the Azure?
Oh, that was my next
servers?
thing. Yeah. That was my next thing. And yeah, but like, yeah, there's so much with here. But the thing is like, even with the, yeah, and even there's the other thing too. There were over 280 first and third party titles on PlayStation in 2021, nearly 5 times as many as Xbox. That was another concern. Whose
so is
fault
that
is
Sony's
that?
fault or Xbox's?
Exactly. Whose fault is that? Oh, it's the Japanese market? Well, no, I could count like 5 Sony PlayStation exclusives coming from their first party last year. Like 2 or 3 of them. Like, and third party deals. Like, whose fault is that? Microsoft chose not to go get third party exclusive games like Ghostwire and stuff like that and Deathloop and have you guys wait. Have you guys pay monthly for a Game Pass service and wait for Deathloop. Suckers, wait. Wait for the deal to be over with Sony. Wait for Ghostwire Tokyo. Microsoft didn't want to pay money to make you play that.
They're not even playing They're not even playing.
They're
Deathloop,
not even.
So
I know they're not.
The achievements show that a third of the players haven't even beat the tutorial, something crazy like that. I mean, they're not playing that shit.
Exactly. And here's some of the documents here. Is like, the install base, 150. What do they say? 160 million. This is the funniest thing, dude. Tom Warren. This is the tweet that triggered me. Here's Microsoft trying to make it look like it sucks at gaming. Let's hear it. Last place in the console, true. 7th place in PC, I assume so. Windows Store, Jesus. 7th place in PC, and nowhere in the mobile gaming distribution. Yeah, Gears Pop and Forza Streets says hi. So obviously those look like 3 goddamn facts. Okay, I don't think that it's making it look like anything. Oh, was it in first and we forgot? It's not in first. So that's true. PC, guess what, everybody? All you Xbox dudes celebrating Sony games coming to PC, well, let me tell you a little tidbit. That makes Xbox look even worse. Xbox still doesn't win when Sony games come to PC. When that polished ass Horizon gets on PC, that makes Halo's smooth ass, goddamn Craig looking bitch quality look bad. It makes Microsoft quality look even worse when you got Sony quality going to PC. So calm down on the goddamn cheering out there, because when Sony games go to PC and they're looking the way they do and playing the way they are, it doesn't make Xbox look any better. That's not a W. That's another L. It makes the quality differential between the two of them. Xbox still loses. That's the problem. It still loses. It's quality games that turn the tide. And that's the one thing that they're not delivering on. And
so,
okay, well, I'm going to say now the thing with the Azure Cloud, his next statement was the CMA thinks Microsoft has an advantage in cloud gaming with Windows and Azure, and Microsoft says no. Blatant lie. Salty, yes. Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I'm trying to digest what's happening here in my brain. And I think what it comes down to, honestly, I think Microsoft does need This, like, if it was a perfect world, they would take the Activision acquisition and make it all exclusive to them. But like, it doesn't make sense from a business standpoint, which they've talked about. But like, literally, I think of the reason why a lot of people are up in arms with the situation is it's just like I said in my video. It's like a rich kid that gets a Ferrari, right, as a gift, and he drives it like shit, treats it like shit, crashes it, but then knows his daddy's just going to bail him out, right? So he doesn't respect it, doesn't share, you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't mean as much. And then people have seen what has happened, just the soullessness. Steve Jobs talked about it.
That comes up all the time, dude. Exactly.
A lot of the projects that they said that they're going to go full force into. Mixer is one of those. And it's just, I think a lot of people, especially if you're a Call of Duty fan or whatever, people talk about that Xbox stank or Microsoft stank or whatever. And it's truly that. It's like, if you lack direction at the top level from a leadership standpoint, and you just let these, developers do whatever the fuck they want, like no direction, no accountability and stuff, it's just going to fall into the same stuff that Xbox Studios is doing. And that's the main issue. A lot of people just don't want the industry going to shit and cannibalizing itself, and this consolidation war of the big $1 trillion companies, and then turning it into like an Amazon or Walmart effect. I talked about that also in my video.
You did.
That Walmart didn't start off as this just super center where you can buy every single thing that you want. Eventually, they snuffed out all the mom and pop shops that could probably offer you a better service or better product. They just couldn't compete with those dollars. So guess what happens? You're forced to go to Walmart because it's like on every block or whatever, and they have everything that you need. And once all the competition's gone, they shoot the prices up and no one can say shit. So that's really the issue, because Microsoft, they have, unlimited funds. So it's like, well, by hell or high water, we're going to get this sub service to work, even though it lowers the quality or whatever. And then, the gaming industry is affected. So I think that's the main issue. I don't know if it's necessarily like cut and dry, like some people are putting it out there, like this whole Call of Duty thing, or not.
And the thing is, they say like Jim Ryan crying about the stuff. And I feel that one of the concerns, with the Call of Duty is that when you own the publisher, you could dictate what the structure of the game, the distribution of the game is, the functionality of the passes and all that other stuff. And you can inherently manipulate the game to benefit you. Whereas if a third party's making it, you kind of like, you could pay for add-ons and pay for these kind of things, pay for some exclusivity here and there, but you're not doing the ins and outs knowing that this is going to be for that. And they're kind of thinking about it, I think, from like a first party perspective, is like the benefits of a first party is that you make the game work for your system, for your platform, because you are a first party, you're owned by us, you're going to get that advantage. And I think they're worried about maybe Microsoft making the game more favorable to a Game Pass and actually kind of affecting them in that sense. Plus, I think it takes money off the table for them in the sense of offering a game in a subscription service and people not buying $70 or whatever for it, and Microsoft having that leverage. But the thing is that they can do that. They will put it on there, but they will also put it in their service. There's guaranteed they're going to do that stuff. And that's, I think they're trying to, afraid about losing money. That's the whole crying shit is about. Like, they're just worried that Microsoft's going to take their ball and run home with it. They're like, we're playing, but until Microsoft starts losing some more, they're going to be like, hey, you know what? Yeah, that's coming back home, dude. We gave you some play time, but you're doing better than us in basketball. We're taking the ball back home. It's our ball anyway. It says Xbox on it. And was the inherent fear of them. But the point of the whole thing is that even with this shit, oh my God, I say, take it. Make it goddamn exclusive. Do whatever you want to do. The problem I have with this whole thing is that I wish Microsoft approached this as more of a positive type thing of bringing back some games for us. Games. It's the one thing that's not in here is games they're talking about. Like, hey, with us, we could bring back some franchise that Activision wasn't able to bring back. And we're able to bring some more games now to the platform or to Xbox, because now we could relive some of those IPs that we could bring back. No, you don't hear that. You hear how bad Microsoft is in gaming, and that's the reason why they need Activision. which was doing fine, was everywhere to begin with. It's not that they're going to be anywhere more because of you. They have the choice to choose game. And I did this last week. Activision had the choice to choose Xbox, Microsoft, Azure Clouds, whatever. They chose Google. Free choice to choose whatever they wanted to do. They didn't choose you. But now you're going to buy them so that they choose you. They are everywhere already. By going to you, how are they going to go more places? What, because you put xCloud on a goddamn Oculus? That's advantage that they have now? Call of Duty on an Oculus? I wish this was more of a strategic alignment, because what I'm saying here is what we're seeing with this deal is that these both purchases are out of desperation from Microsoft. This is not a strategic purchase. This is a desperation, swing for the fences, whatever it takes type of approach. And I said this so many times, it mimics equally to the Mixer approach. Mixer was not growing. Game Pass is not growing at the rate Satya wants it to grow. What do you need to do? They're not coming here, Satya. What do? Buy the talent. Get Ninja over here on Mixer. That will bring people to here. That didn't work, but you know what? Instead of making Ninja get comfortable, know what? Buy Shroud. Get him over here. You had Ninja streaming Gears 5 the day before release, exclusively campaign to drive traffic to Mixer. Desperation because Mixer was not growing. Game Pass, xCloud, not hitting the numbers that we wanted to hit. Buy something. Buy Bethesda. Did you buy Bethesda and see how Bethesda evolved? Hell, the studios from 2018, did you see how they function better under Microsoft? Has Ninja Theory better because of them? We don't know. Playground Games, are they better? State of Decay 3, is it better than 2 because of Microsoft? We don't know. They did not give anybody the chance to show that what Microsoft is doing works. Instead, they keep buying and buying.
You're my number
and
one
buying
customer.
out of desperation. How do you, as a company, allow to just continue to buy without seeing what you bought if it's working? And that's how you know that this, and you're seeing how they're blatantly just lying. They're saying xCloud's not on Azure. Dude, that's the whole reason why you hyped up Azure, was because of xCloud. That's the whole reason why it exists. That's the reason why Xbox exists. It says it right here. Project xCloud powered by Microsoft Azure. What are you saying to the CMA that it's running off of what? Xboxes strapped to a goddamn server blade? That's not Azure Cloud. It doesn't stream. What are you talking about?
They're stealing Wi-Fi from a local Burger King,
Yeah.
right?
What are you doing? The Starbucks next door Wi-Fi? It says it right there. But don't you see, like, I feel like the more and more we see this deal go through, and the more and more insignificant Xbox seems to be with where they are with the games and stuff like that. And you know, and here's their statement about the Azure Cloud. It seems to be these purchases are from a point of desperation because Microsoft is so insignificant. Let us compete, please. We suck. That's basically what the document stated today. Everything. Microsoft sucks in gaming. We're 4th and 5th. Let us fight, please. It's only been 20 years. Please let us be significant against big bad Sony and evil Nintendo. We are so bad. They're still buying people like Bungie and a studio that has 100 people at it. Yeah, we're buying 10,000 people, but it's not, it's the same thing. It's the same thing, right, guys? Dude, that's what they're trying to propose. It's not the same thing. You're buying whole ass publishers, and the problem with the buying whole ass publishers is that you want to funnel them in the one route right up the booty hole. Pause. In Game Pass. That's what you want to do. You want to take everything, what Bethesda makes, everything that Activision ever did, and funnel it down the one path that you see for gaming is goddamn Game Pass and cloud streaming. That's it. There's no options for a tier that doesn't have Game Pass. There's nothing. There's no options of every kind of dabbing in different aspects of distribution. Nothing. You're funneling it down the one path. And that's the problem I have. It's not only consolidation of IP and publishers. They're buying publishers for the reason, not to bring you games, but to funnel it in the distribution model that they dictate, their cloud, their services. And that's a bad deal. But here's their quote, Salty. It says, Microsoft submitted that having Azure does not give them a material advantage that it can leverage to improve its gaming offered because xCloud is provided on Xbox consoles. Economies of scale does not expect to be in position to implement this in the next 5 years. So wait a second. We don't have the full-blown Azure, a cloud, until the next 5 years? Is that what that's what it says?
You hear me, right? Con men, thieves, degenerates, lowlifes, thugs, criminals.
Salty. That's what they said.
We're excited about the Azure servers we didn't show you.
Yeah.
That's the strategy, right?
It's running on Azure, but not really full Azure. We haven't gone full Azure yet.
Never go full Azure.
Never do full Azure. There's the booty power of the cloud. They're running off a fucking booty farts. That's what they're saying right now. Right now, Azure's not here right now, but we got booty. He's shitting it, and he's shitting down a goddamn. He has a pinwheel out his ass, and he's doing this all day long. We got the power of wind powering our cloud servers right now. Azure's not ready right now. Oh, wait, booty's coming back. Booty, come back here. You got to power up the Azure. Somebody wants to stream Halo at 540p. Oh, Booty is picking up the play. He's like, just doing my job. Just doing my job. What are you talking about, Booty? Hey! Let me see you jump to get up, Booty. Let me see you jump to get up, Booty. Let me see you jump to get up, Booty. Let me see you jump to get up, Booty. Let me see you jump to get up, Booty. Let me see you jump to get up, Booty.
You're about to make a beat. You're about to make a beat out of that.
I am. Let's go to the booty song. You can't hear it. That was a beat. It was a beat to the booty song. There, it's powered right now by Booty's ass. We don't have Azure ready right now. Booty's ass is powering the cloud. Why do you think I call him Booty? Phil's second favorite Booty.
And when he needs some extra juice, Phil Spencer gives his hot air of lies.
There it goes. That's that Booty powered by the ass of Booty right now. Azure's not ready. 5 years, but Booty be shitting up the place for the next 4.
They're lining the place with windmills to be powered by the Booty.
That's right. They got Booty's ass attached to a windmill, power of the smelly wind. That's what it is. That's what they got, the Azure cloud right now. That's why Phil talks about his Booty all the time. It's like, he's my second favorite Booty. That ass is pucking up, powering my cloud. But Azure's not ready right now. Satya's like, how's Azure doing? It's like,
Azure makes all of our money, but it doesn't give us an edge. Don't look behind that curtain over there, right?
They're selling you the Azure cloud, but meanwhile, it's Booty's ass. Oh, damn. And then here's another thing. The CMA, man, they're sniffing out a rat. They're sniffing out that rat. They go like this. The CMA found a patent of Microsoft acquiring development studios and making their upcoming games exclusive to Xbox. ZeniMax Media. Microsoft chose to make several ZeniMax major game franchises exclusive to Xbox, including Starfield and, based on other Microsoft announcements, Elder Scrolls. You know, the game that was everywhere. The franchise that was everywhere is now exclusive to Xbox. Now we're going to go Obsidian. Outer Worlds 2. Outer Worlds 1 was everywhere. Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed are being exclusive to Xbox following the 2018 acquisition. In Exile, made games everywhere, is now exclusive, whatever game they're making, in the acquisition of 2018. Ninja Theory, who made Hellblade exclusive. Hellblade 2 exclusive, but Hellblade was everywhere. And their famous game released exclusive game Bleeding Ass in 2020. And now Hellblade 2 is exclusive. And then we got Compulsion Games down here. Developed a game by Game Midnight will be exclusive in 2018. So whatever they're making Compulsion Games is called Midnight. We have nothing about it, but there it is. We know the game is Midnight. I'm surprised nobody ran with that one. But yeah, Microsoft buying publishers that made games elsewhere and putting them on there. Oh my, oh my. And here we go. Game night 1, 2, 3 with the 5. He goes, Microsoft comparing the acquisition of Bungie and Haven to Activision is mind-boggling and reeks of desperation. Thank you, Game Night. Yes, it does. It does reek of desperation. That's where all this is coming from. 3 Mile Island with the 5. He goes, Microsoft is so used to lying and finesse their customers, they don't expect the CMA to do any diligence and investigate this deal properly. They're lying out their ass, man. Out their booty hole. They are lying. They're saying we're so bad. Then they got the balls to come out here and go, well, Sony chose to block Game Pass from PlayStation, and it's elected to protect its revenues from sales of newly released games rather than offer game players choice of accessing them via a subscription like PlayStation Plus. The choice. Choice. I said last week, Activision had their choice. They chose Google after having Amazon Cloud. Bethesda chose Google. They took their games off of NVIDIA. Everybody chose when they had choice. You're the one that's not giving publishers choice because you're buying them and saying, choose me.
You're my number one customer.
Take me to the prom. The crooked ass nose and the one tooth. That's what they're doing. Nobody wants to take Phil Ness to the prom, so Phil Ness is saying, there will be no prom. And I said last week, he's throwing blood and carry shit all over the goddamn place, going, I'm going to hijack the prom because nobody wants to go to prom with Phil Ness. You're the one that's limiting choice because you are buying whole-ass publishers and putting them through your subscription service and saying that's choice for us. That's not choice. If it was choice, it's Activision chose. Everybody chose. Just like they choose not to put their games in Game Pass. EA chose not to make Madden Day 1 in Game Pass $70. They chose. You think Starfield was going to go on Game Pass? You think they were going to choose you? No, they weren't. That's why you had to buy them. Hell, Deathloop didn't even choose your ass. Ghostwire Tokyo didn't choose Xbox either. So when people have choice, they're just not choosing you. You don't like it. So what choice you talking about? You're buying publishers because you want them to choose you. It's desperation. They're looking around going, hey, Satya, hey, Phil. Nobody's choosing us. They're not using I went out there and pimped out Azure Cloud, Booty's ass. Booty's sweating bullets right now. I tell them it's Azure, but it's really Booty's ass. They go, hey, what's going on here? No, they're not choosing us. I just handed out a whole bunch of flyers of Game Pass. They're not putting our games in there. What do we do? I don't know. It's your ass and your booty. He's like, oh, shit. We got to buy something. Let me buy these people because they're not choosing us. And Microsoft has a history of this. Nobody chose the Windows 10 store. That's why they had to put their games on Steam. Nobody chose Windows Phone App Store. That's why it's gone. Nobody chose Mixer. Did Ninja choose Mixer? Hey, you know what? Mixer looks really good. I'm going to take my Twitch audience and I'm going to Mixer. Did he have a choice? No, he didn't. They dropped off the bag and made the choice for him. You see the difference here. You see when people have choice, they're not choosing Microsoft because Microsoft has a habit of dropping shit.
I think about it, Jazz. I want to say something too.
Yeah, man.
If you look at it, you have, bigger publishers, big games are coming out saying, no, we're not going to be in this service. No, we're not. And if you look, they haven't really nailed down any large AAA games to debut in that service.
You're right.
In recent time, I think publishers are realizing that whatever this initial payout you might get to put it over here is not worth it in the long run. And you're compromising sales, future current sales and future sales, whether it be the legs of the game or potential sequels. Now people are going to expect it to continue to be in the service. So they have a challenge to to that this is an issue. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Are they competing? I mean, I think just having the biggest wallet doesn't mean you're competing. I don't think spending the most money means you're competing if you're just gobbling everybody up. I don't know if that's competition. That reeks of someone who can't compete the traditional way and is doing it another. I mean, I'm not saying, acquisitions are bad, but all this consolidation, these huge publishers, I don't see how I don't see how any of these type of decisions are going to mean more games or more gamers. I mean, not more games, more places to play these games. I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
That's the opposite of consolidation, to be honest.
Yeah, here's the list. It's consoles, PC native, PC browser, mobile, Meta Quest VR, Samsung TVs. And the thing is, like, oh, we're on all these devices. Yes, you're on all those devices, but you are not on there free. You have to pay to access those games on that service. So the capabilities are there, but that is not on Meta Quest VR. You got to pay $15 a month in order to play those games on there. So the choice is basically is not free. They got to pay you to play and access your game. So you're making it seem like it's a choice because you're there, but you still need to pay and go through you to access that stuff. So it's not like that you're just putting a game on Samsung TVs and mobile games and Meta Quest because you want games to just sell there. You're actually putting them behind the paywall. Oh, it's Halloween, paywalls. Paywalls to access the games. So
right.
Like it's choice on your terms. It's not free choice of the gamer. Because, and you know what else? You see what they're doing. Is there really a demand on MetaQuest VR in a VR system to play 2D games streamed over the internet?
First of all, fuck Meta.
You're right.
And Mark Zuckerberg and all the. Did you see the price for that new VR system?
And
what are
who's paying
people
for that?
smoking? Who's paying that?
Who's paying for a Facebook headset?
Play 2D Game Pass. It's just
what
we talked about the concerns that we have for PlayStation, but there is no denying that PlayStation is the premier place to be if you're a console gamer because they
if you care about games at all, Jesus,
just games and the platform itself. Because this just shows you the direction of Xbox. They want you to play. It doesn't matter.
They don't care.
Like, the console itself is kind of an impedance for them, honestly, because
it's
if they didn't have the
cloud
console
with the booty ass. That's all the console's doing.
If they didn't have the console to worry about, they wouldn't have to make Starfield exclusive. They could go full third party. They could have you playing fucking games on your toaster if they could get that shit running. They really don't care.
But Salty, what do they have to do? You think
console.
They need to develop anything? It's just a screen streamed over a video browser. That's all it is. It's a low. What did Satya say? Do more with less. That's the motto of Microsoft. Do more with less. And this is exactly an example of it. What effort do they need to do to make the Xbox app work on ARM? What effort? It's a friggin' app. It runs in the browser. Like, there's no effort at all. There's no extra game development. There's no cost to Halo devs or anything. They do nothing. It's streaming over a browser. It's doing more with less. It's chumming the water and seeing if you get a bite. That's what the point. That's what it is. It's. There's no targeted audience. There's no risk. There's nothing. There's not. It's throwing an app on an app store. That's all they're doing, and hoping you pay $15 a month and want to engage in these games. In 2D VR, whatever. Like, it's not even VR games. It's not even like you're making VR games. It's a 2D screen on a strap-on headset.
The shout out to David Jaffe because he talked about this before. One of the major impedances to people jumping into gaming is how much coordination it takes. Like, we take it for granted because we're just gamers and we do it just naturally.
Mhm.
But just think about all the stuff that's going on a controller, right? For you to do some of these games, just not even complex games.
Yeah.
Right trigger, left trigger, bump, this, that, blah, blah, blah. And if you hand that to someone that's never picked up a controller, it's like a foreign device for them, right? So guess what happens when you try to appease the casuals, which is essentially what's happening here. Because if you put your product on a platform like Samsung TVs, guess what kind of gamer you're going to get from that? It's a casual gamer. And guess what kind of games that they want to play? Casual games. So it's an inevitability that you're going to water down your product to appease your major base. And the major base at that point is casual gamers. So that's where when people see this, it's like you can do it on a streaming stick, a Samsung TV, fucking toaster oven, a refrigerator. It's just like, okay, well, what games are these people playing? Oh, Candy Crush, the console version, or whatever the fuck you want to do. Some game that was originally supposed to be so easy you could do it with one finger on a phone. Now you're playing that on a console. That's the kind of shit that we're talking about. That's the direction that it's going to be taking. And it's just like, that's an inevitability because that is your target audience. Does that make sense?
Yeah, they're gonna and owning and able to publish the game and able to control with how the game is distributed. You could control that accessibility for your audience that you want to get that casualized. Like you can't tell Activision, you know what, Activision, please make Call of Duty more casual because we want to try to put this on Samsung TVs. You know, make it accessible. They can't tell third parties how to make their games, but guess what? If they own them, now they can make the game accessible. Remember, Sea of Thieves looked the way it did because it was easy to be scalable. Remember, Sea of Thieves graphics looked the way they are because they were scalable graphics. They were nice and scalable.
And the way Sea of Thieves functions is for the casual.
Yeah.
The crappy gameplay, the enemies that are brain dead, the lack of leveling systems in that game. Guess what that all is for? Is because they want you to plug and play.
Exactly.
Sea of Thieves, we don't want a barrier for the casual. We don't want a leveling system so you out-level your friends. And then it's just a watered down casual fest.
Exactly.
That's what it is, you know?
Exactly. And yeah, this is an image right here I just put up there. This is what they put cloud streaming on today in their announcement. This is how they want you to play your streaming game in this 2D screen that looks like a big screen when it's strapped to your head, streamed over the cloud beta. Yay. Hip, hip,
I'll tell you what I'd be doing in VR since I don't have one, but it ain't Game Pass.
It's not Game Pass. It's not that shit.
It's gonna be starting with
and
it sounds like corn, and it sounds like it ends with it sounds like bub.
This is so. This is the other thing that came out. Xbox says PlayStation has a console install base of 150 million versus Xbox that has sold 63.7 million consoles. It appears that it's adding everything together, but that's the install base, dude. If that doesn't show you like where the hell they are, like they are. This is again, Microsoft says this. This is Microsoft admitting that they suck. Microsoft admitting we are no good. 20 years in and we still suck. That's what they're saying. You're celebrating, think Microsoft is coming back. They're wheeling dealing. Big Daddy Microsoft is strong. This is not coming from a position of power. This acquisition is not coming from a position of strategery. This is coming from a position of desperation. We got nothing. We could only buy big publishers to remain relevant in gaming. That's where all this is coming from the Brazilian approval, from all the CMA speculation, and the stuff that Microsoft is saying themselves. They're saying, we are no good at what we do. We've been here for 20 years and we still can't build a hill of beans. They said it last week when they said, hey, look at this. Look at this. Where is it? Where is it, me? Booty making coffee? Where is it? I have it right here. A little image. Greater competition in traditional gaming where Sony and Nintendo will remain the biggest. After the Activision-Blizzard acquisition, they will still remain the biggest. They said it themselves. This is not putting them over. And they're lying? they're lying? Is there really 150 million Xboxes out there and they're just fudging numbers? Is that what's happening? Is that what everybody's saying? Because if you're an Xbox fan, this is coming from, like, you think this is a joke. You think that Microsoft is joking. No, this is reality. They are that insignificant. These are legal documents. This is CMA investigation. This is showing what Microsoft hasn't told you. You wonder why Microsoft hasn't shared numbers. This is why. They are insignificant. They're not coming from a position of power. Should not be confidence. Let us have competition. We can't compete without a $70 billion company and owning Call of Duty. Think about that. Think about that. And let's talk about that 2.9 billion or million hoes, whatever the hell they call it. Think about where's that other chart? Damn, I'm going to try to find that other chart with the growth. I wanted to show that one. Did you see that one, that growth of Game Pass thing that they came up with? Somebody pull that out their ass.
25 million.
Where is that? I got to find that goddamn thing because that is the thing.
I love how people were. The thing is, I talked about this, the numbers situation with Game Pass. It's like all these people were putting false numbers out there like a year ago and saying that Game Pass was at 30 mil. And then when we get these legal documents that just show actual numbers, they're always wrong for Xbox. Like,
because they don't share them.
The combination of the Xbox One and the Series consoles doesn't add up. The numbers for Game Pass doesn't add up. It's just the lies that are being told there. And it's just like people don't care. They just try to push their narrative. That's the biggest thing. And it's like when Microsoft's saying they're dog shit, I think it's true. I mean,
true.
That part of it's true.
They can't be like, we're dog shit, and all of a sudden the Activision deal goes through, and they're like, no, we're just messing with you. We really had like 70 million people. Dude, they can't do that. They're saying how bad they are. And hey, this is something I wanted to focus. Hey, I found it right here. So in 2020, quarter 4 and quarter 1, they went up 5 million, right? That was the pandemic increase that everybody was hyping about.
Yeah.
Then in 2 quarters, so 6 months, they went up 3 million. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Grinders. Don't look at the number. Look at the rate, the difference of the growth and length of time. All right? That's what I would need you guys to focus on. Over 220 people. Hit that goddamn like button. Share it out. Huge Grindhouse. We got Lincoln here. We had Salty, Frogs, John Tar edition on the way.
So don't pay attention to the length, all right?
It's the girth.
This growth chart jumped in the pool earlier, right? This doesn't usually happen. It's usually longer and broader.
So exactly. Don't look at the differential of over a length of time. So
the motion in the ocean.
So now we're talking 6 months now because this changes. There's the finesse down at the bottom. The finesse at the bottom is that this is not every quarter. There's a finesse there. So quarter 1, because they didn't announce it all the time. So quarter 1, 20, now quarter 3. Okay, so that's 2 quarters. That's 6 months. Now it went up 3 million. Okay, wait a second.
Part of the pandemic, right there.
Yeah, part of the pandemic. This is all 10 to 18 was all pandemic time, right? Now reality sets in. Here we go. Quarter 3 to quarter 2, 2021 to 2022, almost a year.
The regret
2 million. Then you have another year, 5 million. From 2022, 5 million. And this is growth as of January 2022. So right here, this 25 million is based off of your 2 biggest franchises in Halo and Forza. And remember the hype that Halo was getting. It's not the Halo of today where it's face down, ass up. It was the Player's Choice Award back then.
And they made it a point not to push sales either.
Exactly. For the campaign.
Game Pass in it. And honestly, like if you're going to look at this growth chart from a business standpoint, this shit is piss poor, man.
It's not growing at a rate.
Go look at pull up a Disney Plus growth chart for you. If you want to see like the stark contrast.
And they're starting Game Pass. We're salty. They're starting Game Pass in 2020. Game Pass has been out since 2017. 3 years
So
prior
what were
to
the
this.
numbers before that?
I don't know, but it was out in 2017.
How many of these numbers come from boxes of Pop-Tarts and fucking
I don't know
dollar you know how many times I turn my Xbox on, because this is another reason I get free, right? Game Pass to my Game Share buddy, and it's just like they don't see that you have Xbox Game Pass on your console, because technically you don't. You're sharing.
Spam the shit out of you.
So they spam you with these deals, 3 months for $1. Fucking buy one get one. It's just all over your screen. Come back to Game Pass, please.
Here's Disney Plus growth, dude. Q1 2020, they start at 26.5 million, and then you look. Let's see in a year what they went. 20. They May. Let's see quarter in a year.
Just exponential with that shit.
They went from 26 million to wait. Let's do Q1 2021. They went from 26 million to 94 million, and then 94 million to 129 million subscribers.
That's what the Game Pass growth chart is supposed to look like. But they're fucking.
That's what with content. That's what content does.
Yeah.
So you're telling me. So this is the craziest thing I wanted to bring up is that 25 million in a Halo. Halo is the breadth of Xbox, right? This year, they did nothing. You think Pentiment and Scorn are going to pull in 4 million, 5 million subscribers? What came out in 2022 that's going to pull that number? When Halo and Forza released at the end of the year, you got an influx. Plus, you had Back for Ass. Sorry, Sick Humor. We got Back for Ass. And then we also had Outriders and MLB The Show coming in. That was a big announcement of MLB The Show, but Outriders as well last year. So you had Outriders, Back for Ass, Halo, and Forza, and you got about 5 million. What did you do this year? You think they got 5 million this year? Well, what? Pentiment and Scorn? 0 they got this year. They had no games this year at all. What do you think the growth is this year? I bet you it's like 3 million, if that.
That graph looks like it's flat almost compared to that other graph, dude. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Like, look, and then the intervals are not equal. It's not like, there's no steady growth. It's not like, it's 2, it's 3, it's 4. You looking at it, it's the most they have is 5 million a year. What does Stralsnick say? They need about 60, 70 million for one of our games to show up day one.
I heard it's like 100 million to sustain.
To sustain something of one of his, like a GTA dropping in there.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to do rough math, if you're getting, say, 5 million a year, you're at 25 million. How many years? You're going to need another 5 years before
2040. 2040.
You think? Like, you think they're going to last that long? Like, you think they're going to power this through until 60? Just to get to 60 million, they need another 5 years at this rate.
I mean, they're pretty deep in it, right? With the investment.
To get to 60 million, they need about another 6 years, 7 years at a rate of 5 million a year.
But see, the thing is like even that is lies, because this doesn't say sustain grow. It doesn't talk about dollar deals. It doesn't talk about people that canceled. It doesn't say people that left, never came back.
They don't tell you about this. Is everybody who's tried that damn service. It is not concurrent users.
No,
it's not.
So like when Plague's Tale comes out, it'll spike and they'll get new users, but they'll never tell you that those same people did $1 deal for a month.
That's what I'm probably doing.
Beat it, and bounced out, right? Because
they'll
they'll just add to the number total, not the loss, or how many people left.
Exactly.
You can't trust these numbers that they give you. It's very deceptive.
From my experience with Xbox, whatever they're showing you or telling you, believe that it's probably bullshit, first of all. And second of all, if they're giving you numbers, it's probably going to be like half of what the fuck they're saying, or they're shoveling horse shit in your mouth and wanting you to accept it, because it really is that. Like, based off of the Apple Epic trials and all the shit that came out of that, and all the things that they were saying that was wrong and lies, and They use VG charts to puff up their numbers, and they don't correct them. Obviously, Greenberg's not going to say anything. He retweets the misinformation, but then when we get actual figures, it's wrong. They don't give actual figures, so it's just like, I mean, put 2 and 2 together. I mean, it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist. I'm not good at math, but look at this fucking chart. I mean, it's not how many, because people are talking about profit. There's that
2.9 billion. Yeah.
So profitability and something with how much money you're spending and how much you're making. People don't understand the difference, apparently, on the Xbox side, because they don't even know the difference between revenue and profit. Okay, that's because they're like, 2.5 billion. That in itself, if it was profit, it still wouldn't be enough to sustain what they're spending.
Spending $70 billion to get games that will come into that platform already, dude.
That require the studios.
$70 billion.
Upkeep. There's buildings you got to run. There's people you got to pay. There's licensing fees. There's fucking law. All the shit that goes into it to sustain it. And then somehow, even if that was profit, which it isn't, that's not enough to sustain any of this shit.
No. And what is Satya's number? This is why I always come back to it. This is the quote that really gets me here with the Mixer thing. Phil Spencer quoted, when Mixer shut down, this is the quote that really got me, and I applied this to Game Pass, right? The quote says, "It's obviously a disappointment when you try to grow something to the scale it needs to get to and you don't get there." That is why they shut down Mixer. Wasn't that nobody was using it. It didn't get to the scale it needed to get to at the time they needed it to do.
Yeah.
That's why it shut down. I'm going to zoom in to this quote because this is very important. What I find is that when we look at the Game Pass growth and look at what they're doing, they're buying big publishers. They pivoted. They bought little indie devs. They were buying devs, curating studios. We never saw the results of that, and they immediately went to go buying publishers for $7 billion. The Bethesda deal the ink wasn't even wet yet, and they sniffed out Activision's ass-grabbing company and said, hey, they look like they need a lifeline. They're grabbing ass. They're lawsuits out the ass. So you know what? Let's capitalize on their misfortunes, and let's buy them. You didn't even see what Bethesda could do for you to prove that it was worthwhile to buy a publisher, and then you went and bought the biggest one yet, $7 billion. And it's just like, it shows that, is this a strategic move? Because it doesn't seem strategic, because you would think after you spent $7 billion, you would wait to see, hey, how's that doing? How's our 2018 studios doing before we see if we want to buy anymore? Like, do you go grocery shopping and buy everything in the store and nobody eats it? Like, you're going to buy some stuff, cook it, see who likes what, and then come back. It makes no sense. Who functions like that and not at a loss? It's because Game Pass and cloud are not where it needs to be. That's why the pivot exists. That's why they stopped buying the studios. They didn't even release the goddamn games from those studios, and they went out to buy full-ass publishers, one after the other. Why? Because the numbers are not there. They stopped sharing numbers. You're seeing the growth. Mixer was shut down because it didn't grow to the scale it needed to get to. And they tried to get it to the scale by buying Ninja and buying Shroud. They wanted that movement to their service. And that didn't work because you can't just buy talent. People stayed on Twitch. They didn't want to come to Mixer. They're probably upset that they stayed on Twitch, but they stayed on Twitch because they're like, dude, I'm not following Ninja. Screw his ass. The next Ninja will show up on Twitch. I'm not buying Microsoft like emblems and embers and all that other stuff. So they're doing a similar move here. It's so comparable because Mixer was not growing. They bought full-ass talent to exclusively stream on their service, and it didn't get to where it is. 6 months later, they shut it down because it didn't get to the scale it needed to get to. It was out of desperation. Ninja didn't choose Mixer. Shroud didn't choose Mixer. Microsoft bought them, so they chose Mixer. What's happening now with these publishers? Did Starfield choose Game Pass? Nope. Now they will. And guess what? Mixer wasn't even a Microsoft product. They bought it Beam and turned it into Mixer. So it wasn't even that they created this streaming service. They basically bought it. And the guy cashed out about a month or so. The creator left. Just like they did with Mojang. Which that's another thing. Mojang, Minecraft chose Amazon Web Services as their service. After Microsoft bought them, they switched them over to the Azure cloud. Minecraft didn't choose Microsoft to power their infrastructure. They chose Amazon. Now they chose Azure because now Microsoft owns them. They're going to do the same thing with Activision. King Games has been using Google Cloud as their infrastructure since 2018 per Google. That's going to change when this deal goes through. Why didn't King and Activision choose Microsoft? Why? And here's the idea. Look at the size of these deals. Dumbass Microsoft is comparing this Activision deal to Sony buying Bungie. Do you see the size of these balls? Pause. Look at the size of these balls. Who got the big balls here? Look at the size of this ball. He's filling those balls right here. $68.7 billion. But what does Satya say? What does Stutter and Satya say? Satya, say what you were going to say.
And so everything that we're doing with our content, with our our cloud and
Humana, what?
and so everything that we're doing with our content, with our
what happened? The cue cards dropped.
Our cloud.
It's like an episode of Liar.
You don't even know what he's talking about.
Dude doesn't even know what he's talking about. The cue card dropped. He's like,
Shit.
What's up,
Shit.
Look at the size of these balls. Look at the chart that I'm showing, man. Look at this Activision deal. The biggest deal in the last 15. Wait, we're going back to 2005. To 2005 to 2022. This is the biggest deal. Take-Two bought Zynga for $12.7 billion. That is a pimple on Booty's ass. Compared to Microsoft buying Activision for $68.7 billion in 2022. And oh yeah, ZeniMax for $7.5 billion in the same goddamn year, 2022. Holy shit. Look at this. Activision bought King in $5.9 billion. Sony bought Bungie, $3.6 billion. I don't know who these people are. ByteDance bought Moonton. The hell are those people? Oh, but beware of Tencent. They bought Supercell. Who the who? They bought Lilu. And they bought Sumo Group, the Crackdown 3 devs, for $1.6 billion. Poor Crackdown 3 made them work less. Look at the size of the balls of Microsoft. Look at these balls.
And so everything that we're doing with our content, with our
Yeah, that's exactly what you meant to say, you son of a bitch. Stuttering this fool.
He's not, man, this shit don't mean anything to him, but
dude,
they put him out there.
He's a goddamn robot. He's a goddamn robot. He's a Phil Ness bot, man. He's a goddamn robot, that guy. They put up cue cards and they put him on a hey. He's like, okay, so this is my Mario jacket. They're like, no, it's fucking Halo, Satya. Oh, and it's an Xbox. It's not a Nintendo. So stop saying Nintendo. Okay, Satya. So ready? 3, 2, 1. It's Halo. It's coming out this fall, and you like Xbox. Okay, Satya. Repeat after me. Xbox, Halo. There's the merchandising you're wearing. Read the cue cards. Don't look at them. Don't look at him. It's not a Nintendo. It's an Xbox. Phil Spencer works for you. Just say go green. Just say you're all in on gaming. Okay?
And so everything that we're doing with our content, with our our cloud.
Goddamn, Satya. Why can't you just read the cue cards? It says it right here. It's an Xbox. You're all in on gaming. Say it. God damn it. Fucking Satya. The hell out of here. Go back to your goddamn charging station, you robot. God damn, Satya. Failing again. They go, shit. Error. That's exactly what Satya had when he read that. He stuttered. He was like this. He goes, he stuttered. He's like this.
And so everything that we're doing.
He had a Windows error.
And so everything that we're doing with our content, with our our cloud, and
he went. He crashed. He had a Windows. He had a goddamn Microsoft Windows error. He's like,
stick to the script, god damn it.
Stick to the script, you son of a bitch. And he's like, but let us compete.
Nintendo.
He's like, it's a Nintendo. That's what my mom said. And then the last thing I want to talk to is, man, Stralnick getting friggin' roasted. Listen, this lady had a thing for Stralnick, man. She wanted to roast his ass. She saw that Fortune interview with Phil Ness and was like, yo, that guy roasted Phil ass. I want to roast this guy. She went at this guy. Like, I don't know. I'm like, who is she? She's like a Twitter. She's like they said she's a PS fangirl. But listen to her interview with him. This is hilarious.
That deal hasn't closed yet, but I think most people think it's going to close. Right? You think it's going to close?
It's hard to know. I can't really predict what the regulators will do. We're certainly of the belief that it's a good thing for Microsoft and for the industry. We're in favor for whatever.
Why? Why do you think it's a good thing?
Because this is a
consumers
highly
might disagree with you, by the way.
Well, it's up to the consumer.
The consumers
It's
disagree.
a highly fragmented business, and there's plenty of room for creativity to go around. And Microsoft is an ally of ours, and if this makes their business more powerful, we think that's good for us.
Well, yes, but they're acquiring a software company, and that's your business. And last time you were at the Grill, we had Phil Spencer, and you talked about how you guys worked collegially, and it wasn't a problem in the areas where they have games and you compete, and it's all very friendly. But isn't that different if Activision is like their core focus?
Ultimately, the consumer votes. And
yes.
If we create great hits, which is our business, the consumers will show up, and no one can take that away from us. No one can replicate that.
Quality games, he says. They're going to come play with quality games.
Promotional space in terms of what Microsoft might push. They have, they have options. They have
right, but at the end of the day, if they're focused on the power and strength of their own business, they're going to want to be pushing the most successful properties. And if consumers are showing up for our properties and
GTA 5, you still
Microsoft
GTA
is
6
engaged
and 5
involved, isn't a partner, then that would be a bad thing for Microsoft. So I think we're all essentially pulling in the same direction. It isn't the entertainment business is the antithesis of a fungible, commoditized business. Mm-hmm. Every title stands alone, so it sort of doesn't compete with anything else.
Didn't feel
heavily isn't going to make them want to see it more.
So from your perspective, consolidation is a good thing
or a neutral thing.
A neutral thing, he says.
Didn't feel that you needed to, bulk up, for lack of a better term, in the landscape that you're living in.
Certainly not. We were already at scale, and we said that. We were already over $3 billion enterprise. We certainly had the throw weight to invest in the most important properties in the business and to market them as aggressively as anyone else could. Where you need more scale is when you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to field a worldwide marketing and distribution organization, or you can't afford to have a loss, by the way. And we've seen that in our space where companies were too thinly capitalized to survive a bad year. Now and then you have a bad year in the entertainment business. You have to be capitalized well enough to withstand that and to give your teams confidence that they're going to live to play another day. Now,
landscape that you.
But exactly, this guy has no problem because exactly, he knows that if you just and what's funny is that he talks about 2K about quality game. Dude, you got two games. You got NBA and you got goddamn GTA. All right, but he's like, they come for the quality games. But you see the difference in the approach of an executive of when they're releasing games. When he's like, you come for the library of games. That's why we don't care what's going on with this Activision stuff, because we got games that people want to play. The customer comes to us to play the games. It almost sounds a little bit like Sony. It's like, well, we got games that people want to play, so they will come to us. That is immune to what's going on with this consolidation and stuff, because nobody's going to deny a great game. Now, say what you want with GTA and all that other stuff and NBA, but he knows that people are knocking on his door for that stuff. So for him, Activision getting absorbed by Microsoft is just competition off his plate. Now he's just like, hey, good. Let them deal with the Call of Duty. That's another competitor, because that's a third-party publisher that was going to compete with them that's off the market. Now they're just part of their first party. And he's saying if Microsoft wants to push them and not us, they can't deny great games. They can't deny everybody coming to GTA 6 and go, you know what? We're going to push Call of Duty this year and not GTA 6. That's basically what he's saying. So he's saying great games or games that customers want to play is immune to whatever consolidation is going on. But one of the things that he does say at the end here is very interesting. The people that need help, here it is.
A better term in the landscape that you're living in.
Certainly not. We were already at scale, and we said that. We
The
were
scale,
already
here it is.
Over $3 billion enterprise. We certainly had the throw weight to invest in the most important properties in the business and to market them as aggressively as anyone else could. Where you need more scale is when you can't afford to do that. You can't afford to field a worldwide marketing and distribution organization, or you can't afford to have a loss, by the way. And we've seen.
See, if you can't market to a field, that's when you need more scale. And that's exactly what he's saying. It's like, if you can't reach other things, that's where you need more scale. And it's almost, that's exactly what Microsoft's doing. They don't have the reach. So they are buying these big publishers because they don't have it. They can't reach people. But it's games, dude. And yeah, this guy, he hates Game Pass. He says that his game's not going in Game Pass. It's good for like old ass games, but not his day one games. And that's the same exact thing that Shuhei was talking about games going into a service. Basically, we believe in high quality. We don't put our games in a service. We're going to tear them down. They're both coming from similar positions. It just shows of like, when you have games that people want to play, you have a different opinion on this whole situation. And that problem is Microsoft doesn't have games that people want to play yet. And Don Juan says, yeah, Ubisoft, Take-Two, and EA are loving this. Andrew Wilson said something similar earlier this month, too. Yeah. They love this because Activision, a competitor of the third party, is coming off the plate. They're not going to complain about that. Why? It's like I was saying, like it's like a football team's battling it out, the Giants and the Eagles, and somebody comes over and going, you know what? I'm going to absorb the Eagles. Oh, that's great. They're leaving the division. I have no problem about that. Let them go play in another division. Yeah, West wants them. Go ahead. That's one less team I got to play. That's one less team. And that's why they like Activision coming off the table. Because that is now they're considered a first party. They're now the other ones could shine. Did you guys hear anything about what he said? That Zelnick?
Yeah.
What do you think?
So the first thing that I want to know is why the fuck do people care about what Strauss Zelnick has to say about consolidation, first of all, and second of all, a subscription service that he said wasn't worthy enough of putting his content in there. Like, why is he puffing up this deal going through? Like, it's just so weird to hear it from him.
Yeah,
because he, like you said,
grill him.
She was kind of, yeah, exactly. But it's just Strauss Zelnick. I mean,
I know.
Yeah, you guys got GTA.
As I said, you got two games.
You got 2K, and it's just like you're playing both sides. It's like Mac from It's Always Sunny. He's like, I play both sides, so therefore I never would lose, right? It's exactly what he's doing.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know?
They're a strong partner for us. It's good for them. But I'm not putting my shit in their Game Pass. If Activision wants to, if they won't put Call of Duty in Game Pass, that's on their ass, But what's funny is that he talks about this amazing lineup of games, and we're fine. We're at scale and shit. And it's like, dude, you got 2 games. You do nothing with all your other shit. You do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And you sat on GTA 5 forever. Like, come on.
Yep.
But it's just like, the thing is that his approach to it sounds similar to, like, if you have games, like, you have this confidence, like, people are coming to your store because you make a great pumpkin pie. Like, that you got people because you got this great product that people want. So if all the shit starts melting down there, but as long as the people are coming to your door knowing that you got a reliable product, you're good. And that's basically where they are. Like, a lot of these companies, like, it just seems that they're just like, hey, if you're kind of, and Nintendo it shows this with all the shit going on with Xbox and Microsoft and PlayStation. Nintendo's is shining like crazy with no Call of Duty, with no real third party craziness. Like, they don't even have Assassin's Creeds and all these crazy. They don't have half the big shit that's all over the place, and they're doing fine. They're doing better than anybody. Because they got games that people want to play and only can play there. And I think that's what people, going back to the PC thing, are like, that's what made PlayStation the place to go to. And if they start diluting that by putting their IP on PC and stuff like that, is the PlayStation the must-have it used to be? And one point I do want to make with that whole situation, the whole thing, I think one of the things I forgot to touch upon, and you guys can tell me what you think about it, is that I feel that Sony has a lot of games that we don't know about. They have a lot of games coming, and it's not this 1 game, 2 games a year, and we sit and wait. I do think that Sony has a whole pipeline of games that we don't know about, and once we see how much shit they got coming for the PlayStation, I think a lot of this kind of games going here, games going there, people are going to be like, whatever. They got 4 games coming. Let them put 2 or 3 games on something like that. Because we don't even know what the hell the pipeline is for what Sony's coming out with. Like, that God of War is the number 2. It's not the main thing that's coming out of that Santa Monica studio. We know that Last of Us Online is not the one game that they're making. That's it. We don't, we know that Insomniac is making 2 games with Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. What's Ben's studio working on? We don't know what all the, like, Haven Studio, where's their game? Where's the and then all the VR games on top of that. And then on top of that, what about that, that first person studio game? And that's just what we know about. Then they got the second party deals and all these other things. Like, they got a lot of games coming that we don't know about. And that's where I'm like, where is the showcase? Show us the games, because I think that will pacify a lot of this, like, well, we're putting a game on PC, we're putting a game on here. And it's just annoying because, like, where are all these games? And I think that there's a lot. I think that there's a huge list of games that they is holding on to, and they're being real quiet. And I don't know if it's because of lack of competition or what it is, but do you guys think that, like, they're sitting on a shit ton of games in development and they've just been real quiet because of the lack of competition?
Yeah, like I said this before, if you rewind time before they had their showcases, and I understand they haven't announced one yet, but we didn't really know any of the games that were coming out until they had that showcase.
I remember that, like in 2020, right? Sony was so quiet. They didn't even announce that. They showed a logo, right?
Mm-hmm. So I think a lot of it, they had some leaks and stuff inside Sony, and they probably weren't too happy about that, but no one knew Wolverine was coming out before that was shared. Some of the other projects that are going on. Yeah. So I do think that they have stuff in the works that definitely has not been revealed yet. So, and part of that issue is that Microsoft just doesn't have anything coming out for a year, whole calendar year. So it's not pushing them. Unfortunately, it's just not pushing them to, like, show their cards. Like, they don't feel a need to do that. And that's the unfortunate thing, in my opinion.
Yeah. Blink. Anything about it?
Okay. Well, as far as like Sony,
Just like they're sitting on a lot of game and development and stuff. I know that the VR
they're
stuff,
sitting
right?
on a lot of games, and you know, you got to think. I mean, you got Blue Point, you
Oh
got
yeah, Blue Point, Housemarque.
you know, you got Housemarque, which I mean,
yeah, Blue
they
Point's
got a
game.
lot of
What the hell?
studios, and within these studios, you're starting to see. It's not like last gen where each studio is working on one game at
For
a
the
time.
generation, yeah.
They are working on a lot of these studios, especially the bigger ones like Naughty Dog, are working on sometimes 3 games. So Santa Monica, Naughty Dog, I think I don't know if it's Sucker Punch. And then you got Sony Bend, they're working on the open world
Oh yeah, Sucker
game.
Punch.
So
What are they doing?
a lot of their studios, we haven't heard from them recently. So they are loading up, and I think they're going to hit us with some stuff next year that we don't know yet. So obviously they've announced Spider-Man. But and you know, Neil Druckmann said we're going to hear more about factions coming 2023.
Yeah.
So possibly factions for sure, Spider-Man next year, but other than that, we really don't know from their first party. So I think there's a couple more titles from their first party, but what they're doing, you see their strategy now. They're not announcing 2 games. They're not really announcing games 2 years out like they used to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna probably hear about games, and then they will come 6, 9 months, 12 months later. I'm not worried about Sony and their output at all. I feel like they're going to hit us with some big titles next year because that's what they do.
Yeah,
so
and they got that game, and you know what? Geo Knows Gaming says they're sitting on it not because of competition. It's to maximize hype, which will maximize profits, especially with the increase in stock. And now you see on the PS5 shelves. And, you know, it's a good point because you know I do see that you know they kind of let their game time to shine. Like they won't announce a whole bunch of games before game releases. Like, you know, even with Horizon, they had Horizon come out, they did their state of play, push Horizon, and then they started talking about, they didn't talk about God of War at all until Horizon and GT7 were out of the way, you know, and then they waited and sat on God of War until that time. And, you know, what's interesting is that they kind of did the same thing last year where they had Returnal. They didn't talk anything about Ratchet and Clank until Returnal released and then did Ratchet. So I do see that their strategy is kind of one at a time, given it's you know, the premiere kind of rollout, but it's still, it's just, I think announcing what they have coming down the line, I think would be a good idea. But again, I could see them fall in the same issue as Microsoft, announcing too much too far out, and then seem to be, you know, they could tease it, but then again, it gets frustrating that we're sitting here going, well, we haven't heard anything about that game like what we're doing with Xbox. It's like, they announced so many games that they're working on just to pacify people. Hey, we're working on games, but we never seen them. They never mentioned them, you know, for 2 and 3 years. And you're just like, what's going on? And, you know, so maybe they don't want to fall into that. But I just feel that, you know, I think they could share a little bit, you know, of what they're working on and what's going on. But I just,
you know, I wish they would. I wish they would. I'm going to tell you guys something. They don't. As far as what Microsoft is doing, I mean, this acquisition shit, they care about this because that directly affects them. But as far as Microsoft, people continuing to say Sony is not talking because Microsoft's not putting up a fight. I don't think that has anything to do with it. Microsoft hasn't been competing all of 20. They didn't compete at all in last generation. So I don't think Sony's moving with what Microsoft's doing or trying to hold stuff back because Microsoft's not showing stuff or Microsoft is not pushing them. Microsoft hasn't competed since the 360 generation, if we want to be honest, with their first party. So they're not worried. I don't think they're worried about what Microsoft is doing as far as their strategy on announcing games and their roadmap. I just think the companies, they're under new leadership and they're doing things differently than what they did last generation. Whether I like it or you like it, they're doing stuff differently. They're keeping this information much closer internally before they start talking about a game like Factions, which is probably coming out next year. We would have already known about that game a year and a half, almost 2 years. We would have seen something. They would have shown us a trailer. They wouldn't have given us no fucking concept art.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hate concept art. Oh
you know
my
what I'm
God,
saying?
please.
They would never have done something like that.
Yeah.
But they're clearly doing things differently. They're not willing to share stuff about these games until they're closer to coming out.
Yeah.
So I don't like it. I like being excited about having a road. I like having a roadmap and knowing what's on the horizon.
I love their showcase last year. Like with Knights of the Old Republic, Wolverine, Spider-Man 2. Like that's great.
But we're not getting. I don't think we're getting a showcase this year. They're not really going to do anything else until after God of War.
Yeah, and Jay Thomas with the 5. Thanks for the super chat. He goes, I think the entire gaming industry, but especially Sony, are holding their cards close to the chest until the stupid acquisition is done and over with. You know, this Activision, seeing the size of it, I don't know. Maybe that is. I feel that it's definitely something that has put the gaming industry on watch, because I think I said on Salty, like we were talking about on your show, was like the fallout of this. Like once if this goes through, which it might go through, most likely, it could kind of cause a whole buying spree.
Oh yeah,
of just craziness.
It's the domino that will fall, and then you're just gonna see whatever's left get snatched
EA up for sale, Ubisoft going, the Focus Entertainment, I think next Focus Interactive, just start soaking them all up, because how are they gonna deny anything? And I'm not saying it's just gonna be everybody else responding to Microsoft. I think Microsoft's gonna be the one that leads it off. After this deal goes through, they're gonna say, and we'll like to buy them, and who's gonna tell them no? And this is the craziest thing. Who's going to tell anybody else no if they decide to buy EA, or EA and Ubisoft merge? Or I think it's going to be a crazy fallout from this. And I think that's the major concern. Like, I really don't give a shit. Let them own Activision. Let them own Call of Duty. Let them make it better. Who the hell knows? I doubt it, because they haven't had a good track record of making things better. And I don't have the confidence that, they had Halo for 20 years and look what it devolved to. So I don't know what they're going to be able to do with all this. With great power comes a great responsibility, and they don't have responsibility or management over there. But the repercussions of this deal, I showed the chart from 2005. This is the biggest acquisition by a long shot in gaming history. And this is like, there's going to be repercussions. There's going to be a ripple effect. And maybe it just put the gaming industry on hiatus, because you know what? He's right with that super chat. The other companies, like you say, that Sony's holding up the industry, that Jeff Keighley smuggling grape show, like, where is everybody? We are 2 years into brand new hardware, and we're acting like we're at the end of a long-ass generation that would never die. Like, don't you get that feeling? Like, even from the gaming industry overall, it does not feel like a second year of next-gen consoles at all.
I think that the pandemic
that did it too. Yeah.
It screwed everything up at the beginning of the generation. All these studios delaying their shit. So it's like this 2-year gap, and it was like right at the beginning of the console generation. 2020. 2020. The dead heat of the pandemic when it was starting and stuff like that. It's insane. And then we're seeing the ripple effects from that, like all the delays and all the people were working remotely and all this other shit that was going on. So like we're seeing the results of that in here and later. And it's just like extending out the generation. So it's like, well, it could have been 6 or 7 years, and then now it's going to actually be 10-year plus generation. And we're not going to be seeing peaks in performance, and like we usually see like 5 years into the gen, you start getting peak graphics and stuff. It's gonna be a while,
And Seattle Chief says the chip shortages too. Yeah, I know. Like I don't know. It just seems like I don't know if the industry is becoming less risky or trying to become more casualized or with all this push, but I just feel that the quality and just the breadth of what's being shown is really just what's going on. Like, I just feel like of course there's room for indies, there's room for all this other stuff, but just I don't know. Ubisoft can't figure out what Skull and Balls is. Like, that's a mess. But Ubisoft, I wouldn't depend on them for quality at all. Never go full Ubisoft. Reminder. But I don't know. But it's been an incredible show. Salty, Link, and Frogs, Ghosts, and thanks to you guys for for coming on and staying the whole 3 hours here. But this is an incredible show. I'm glad to get you guys a show out. Sorry for not having it on the Monday, but we had an awesome audience tonight. Thank you, Grinders. And yes, we'll be playing the Game Pass song as we leave this evening. But first, we need these fine gentlemen to present their exit as they exit the Grindhouse. So, Salty, tell them, tell the Grinders where they can find you and us and everybody.
Yeah, tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. And then go check that video out, man. Go check that meme out I put in there, all right?
And the good meme, that's right. And Link, you know where to find Link, man. He's all over the place. He's King Thread. King Thread seemed to have a show already, man. We got everybody go watch that show.
Yeah, you might find me, hopping on this show sometime. Might be on Six Podcast. Sometime I'm on the Roundtable. But as usual, this was a really good show, man. And thanks for letting me hop on.
No
here,
problem,
Diz.
Link. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah,
Link's like the CMA, man. He's scoping out everybody. He's like he's sniffing around that dirty ass booty, sniffing around. He's on that. But yeah, thank you everybody. Yo, awesome show. Thanks Frogs. Thanks Ghost. I saw Ghost jumped on. Thank you to the Super Chats. Thank you to the VIP Grinders, and thank you to all the Grinders in the Grind House. Stay tuned. Keep it locked to this channel. Subscribe if you're new here, because there'll be more content coming your way with the Grinds Gaming Bites and more Gaming Grindhouse and more fun, wonderful soundboard. And Mr. Booty himself. Here he is. Thanks, Booty, saying goodbye to everybody. And everybody, you know what time it is. Scorn tomorrow, baby. Only on Game Pass.
And second us too. New games are coming fast. 12 minutes and 80s. And they're all on Game Pass. Somerville, a Plato Requiem. What to play first and what to play last. Star Match 2, Ground, Shroom and Doom. 'Cause they're all on Game Pass. Among Us, the Ascendant.
12 minutes and Hades. That's all you need. Good night, everybody. Oh,
okay. Holy Spirit, activate.
This is Activision deal, man.
Activate. Holy Spirit, activate. Activate. Activate.
And so everything that we're doing with our content, with our our cloud and
It's like a
one more time for the Grinders.
12 minutes and 80s. They're all on Game Pass. Somerville, a Plato Requiem. What to play first and what to play last. Star Match 2, Ground, Shroom and Doom.
And we can't leave without the wise words. Yeah, whoever's sticking around here, Grinders, for the last statement, the wise words of Phil Gloria Spencer.
Games to our platform, because in the end I think the gamers play the games.
Of course they do.
They don't play the studios. They don't play the resolution numbers, right? They
and so everything that we're doing with our content, with our our cloud.
Shit.
Sir, do we get the win this time?
I'm trying to use the phone!
All right, not too much fun. Good night.